the team. It felt like everyone was just okay with not being the best. We had some feelings of, okay, we didn't win this one, but we were trying our best to win the next one.
Yeah, and he's not talking about Mato. He's talking about the whole team.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it felt the build-up was there, but we didn't know how to deal with it because all of us as players, we actually wanted to win, but we didn't know what was the missing factor, that spark that actually was going to lead us to win. Because no one was feeling this sense of urgency to actually try 120% better to win the game. So the situation was kind of weird because I have never experienced it before. And Kuro was, I mean, I can keep talking highly about Kuro, but he actually foresaw what was going to happen, and he made the best choice by actually changing something. Even though I love Matu and I love him as a person, as a player, but Kuro had stronger idea that something had to change, and I respect him so highly for that because it's not an easy decision. So I was really happy that he had the strength to do what was necessary in order for us to succeed, our team and Matu as an individual and someone else too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Casey.
Time to get into game number 2. PSG have the lead. Would it stay that way? Let's find out.
PSG LGD versus Team Liquid. Game 2.
Bit different when you were up on this main stage. You obviously know, if you can hear it through the speakers right now, you can hear it through the stream. LGD definitely going to be the fan favorites, and now Liquid is going to have their backs against the wall. Is the longest losers run that we've ever seen at TI going to come to an end in this game? And as we look at the draft, which is already underway, we're going to see some familiar faces, Kyle.
Yeah, indeed. And dude, you don't just hear the crowd. I'm telling you, the players on the booth, they feel it. They've got the booths have a heartbeat as the crowd like starts to get into it. You're feeling the pulse, and it's got to be insane to be playing right now because every time PSG LGD gets momentum, it's like you're starting to vibrate.
So I've never actually done it as a player, obviously, but I've gotten the opportunity to be up on the main stage and actually introduce teams. And I remember the first time I did it, the thing that I didn't expect was to feel my teeth shake. You could literally, when the fans started screaming, you could hear your teeth shake. That vibration that Kyle mentioned, that energy, it's definitely felt, even if you're in a noise-canceling booth.
Yeah, when it comes with the nerves, you know, when you're in a team setting, people will ask you, do you feel comfortable playing this hero? I think it's a good hero for the game, kind of thing. The draft, the captain will ask you. And what hero are you going to play for millions of dollars? That's the question going into this draft. That's why so much of the meta, so much of the like popular heroes doesn't matter once you get into these later stages of the draft. You ask a player, like, what do you feel comfortable playing in this pivotal match for your career?
We don't need to guess when it comes to FY. The man is a killer, and there's this iconic group of players, less than a handful. Everyone plays their best Dota TI, but some guys, like they ascend somehow. That was FY's 100th game of Rubik. He just crushed. Now they early pick his Lion. It's just the best anti-carry hero in Dota. You have 2 methods of lockdown, tons of burst damage, and already PSG LGD, they have so much control in this lineup.
Now, the funny thing that I want to bring up as well with LGD, and this is something that we saw that even transcends the draft, the way that they've itemized has been spectacular.
Yes.
They've basically been able to close gaps even when they fall behind just by itemizing the right way.
Hey, that last game, we talked about having to survive through the chrono. You just have a Centaur with a heart, you have a Spectre with a heart. They just know, in the draft, you see their game plan come to life almost when you watch the game itself.
It's damage reduction, and they had so much of it. The Fade Bolt, you had Pipe, Crimson Guard, Ags, Centaur. Gyro gets an Ag, so even if he's CC'd in the middle of the Chronosphere, he's just going to still be dealing damage. It's just an excellent way to deal with what Liquid had in the previous game. This time, they steal the support duo of Rubik ET, the Miracle Sven perhaps, but we're going to have to see him turn up a bit. Both we and Miracle got solo killed in that first game in the first 10 minutes.
I do want to go back to kind of what you were saying, because you said it so well while we were hanging out in the crowd and watching this game. when we looked at what LGD said, they said, okay, yeah, what Liquid has put together, they're going to be able to get it off consistently. So they didn't say, how do we avoid it? They said, how do we deal with it once we actually do get caught? And that's the type of thinking that we've seen from LGD so far in this tournament. It's one of the reasons they've looked like such a top dog lifestealer.
And I know we're probably, a lot of the NA groups are going to have a bit of PTSD about this hero, Arteezy. Out of the tournament, 0-2, both on this lifestealer, but it's a completely different game. You're up against two supports that have absolutely nothing to deal with Rage, and in addition, it's arguably the hardest counter to Sven because you just hit him in the face.
Yeah, and it's a reliable way to deal with combos like Sven Darkseer. Liquid coming out with this wombo combo teamfight, something we've seen different approaches from these teams. We've seen these like split pushy, skirmishy, kind of back and forth type lineups, and then we see these wombo combos. If you get caught by this Darkseer vacuum into Sven stun, you're all gonna die. But I love LGD because they just understand that they think about these things. You can see in the game, their positioning, the hero picks, Lifestealer makes it so much easier to avoid these types of things happening. And it's just another Ame hero, right? It's a farming hero that's going to get his items and he's going to hit that crucial timing. And they can play around what he does for the game. Spectre being the last pick. This is the first time I've seen LGD, I think in the last like 5 or 6 games, not pick Ame's hero last.
I do want to go back to something that you just said there as well, Bishu, because I feel like it has been a huge theme of the tournament. But besides all the storylines, the idea of the young players really stepping up and the ideas of whether or not we were going to have back-to-back champions, it's constantly that question of, is this going to be a skirmish game or a wombo combo game? And what we see right now, Kyle, how do you feel it's shaping up?
It's all about Liquid's pace. You've got 2 heroes that traditionally farm ancient stacks to recover. You can't have 2 heroes recover. That's not how Dota works nowadays. You want Darkseer shoving lanes, TA traps all over the map. Let Miracle Sven go his Midas build, get to a point where he's comfortable taking fights. A BKB is necessary if you want to engage against PSG LGD. They, of course, have the 22 last pick. Their mid hero is still available. I could see a universe where it was a core Jakiro, but Rubik, of course, one of the hardest counters. And it's surprising they actually picked Rubik, or Jakiro into Rubik. Yeah, and with this TA last pick, immediately comes to mind is Roche for Liquid. I'm thinking to myself, LGD, that's a good point. We've got pretty good contests, but we need a hero that matches the pace, because Lifestealer is most likely going to go the Midas Radiance build. He might look to mix it up this game, but the TA can threaten the Roche before that happens, so you need to be able to fight them head-on with 4 heroes, and this hero needs to output the damage. And there you go, the lane counter, last pick, Cheese Huskar, one of my favorites. You talk about a 22 pick, all right? Like, this is...
He's ready to slam jam, baby.
It's not even Cheese anymore, right? We've seen it long enough, but this... You crush TA in the laning phase, and he needs to get ahead in this game, and it's going to be so difficult, especially the way Maybe's been performing.
Wow, okay, so for anybody who's not used to seeing a pick like this, why do we see it here?
Well, you already had good lane matchups between the Lifestealer, Darkseer. You had the Sven's probably going to be pressured by the Centaur, and now you're just looking to snowball the mid lane, and if you have all 3 lanes won, it's pretty hard to win in competitive Dota, I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah, and Liquid, they kind of need to win the lanes, because they aren't going to be able to recover. PSG, they have so many stuns. They get a bit of a lead. It's the perfect game for a Huskar, but you've just got 4 killers surrounding you, and you can leisurely choose a target however you wish.
Yeah. Now, very quickly, I do want to ask before we get down to business in this game, Kyle, how do you view the win conditions of each of these teams?
Liquid has to be fast. They need a lead. They've got to find a way to get their lanes at least even. Ancient stacks, and more importantly, map control. They want to take towers early so that they can take away the Radiant jungle.
Now, one of the best ways to peer into how a team thinks that they are going to win is going to be talking to their coaches, and lucky for us, Casey is standing by.
All right, I want to ask you about a few of the picks that we just saw. LGD last picking Huskar. They also got Centaur again, which was a huge key to the first game. What is your reaction to that?
We kind of expected them to last pick Huskar in this game, but I feel like it can go both ways. Like, for example, Temple has some good stuff against Huskar, but Huskar also has some good stuff against Temple going. So the Centaur pick, the Centaur in the last game really performed, so I don't know. It really depends how the players will play and press buttons and everything.
Anything can happen at TI.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, back to you as we get to the game.
Well, let's get it on. Let's press some buttons. Let's have some TA versus Huskar and no IOs. Completely ignored, but don't worry. You get yourself something quirky with the Huskar.
Yeah, that's the power of having the last pick, is that sometimes you can come up with something like this. But I would say lately in Dota, over the last months, Huskar, even when he has a good laning stage and has good games, this hero has trouble a lot of the time. I don't think Huskar is nearly as strong as he used to be in certain patches. I'm hearing a stun.
It's just down the bottom lane. It's Xnova saying hi and walking away.
But like RMN is pointing out, this matchup is not exactly that one-sided. It's one-sided in the early part of the laning stage, but what TA has against Huskar later is she has massive physical burst damage. One thing Huskar doesn't like to face is hard burst. He wants to take advantage of the regen. However, now that he has a disarm, he can also, you know, disarm the Sven and the TA before they get their BKBs with that inner fire. So the matchup is has become more interesting, I would say, than it used to be. But I would still say I'm expecting Somnus to absolutely win the lane, and then it's just about how hard he wins and what Weehaw can do out of it.
I still want to keep my eyes very closely up on this top lane. Mind control. And he actually splits Liquid with the stun, but FY still gets the rune, but the burn damage from the Iron Shell and the range damage from GH is enough to get the kill, which means they'll claim the opposite bounty rune. But this is the lane which only Team Liquid is making work. A Dark Seer in the off-lane, it's a huge combination, maybe not that great against Lifestealer, but this isn't the first time they've even run this lane versus a Lifestealer. They've done this exact matchup before.
And they're running it with a Rubik, and the logic here is you just push out waves. You put Iron Shell on the creeps, you have the Fate Bolt to push an additional amount, and then after you push the wave, you can either go and stack jungle camps, or you can pull the next wave.
Oh, that's a nice Storm Bolt on bottom lane. Catching an Xnova as well as Chalice. Xnova's copying a lot of damage. It's the ET. We've seen how powerful he's been throughout this competition. Xnova, how much life have you got? Kuro, he's running out that bonus damage. It's only got a 1 second left, and if he can punch into Xnova, maybe they got enough damage. Chalice trying to play it around the tree lines. Xnova does actually get the kill on Kuro before his death. Chalice may have actually liked that the other way around if you can get solo experience, but you'll take what you can get.
Considering the circumstances there, I think you're pretty happy with the trade as Jakiro overall. That looked like the exchange was not going to favor them, but really good play in the trees by Xnova gives them the trade-off. Mid lane? Wait, why is Rubik so... Oh yeah, he got first blood. I was like, why is he so rich? I was thinking, how many CS did he take away from the Darkseer? But yeah, now is when it gets tricky in mid. Somnus has...
Oh, bottom lane, Miracle. He's in a little bit of trouble, going to land the Stormhammer. Once again, Kuro finding a large chunk of damage for that ET, hitting it into Xnova. I think some Jakiro fans will be sad it's not FY on that hero, but still Kuro, my god, he just doesn't want to stop, but now he's run out of damage, and Kuro is just dragging Chalice next over away from the wave.
He got a bit too far ahead of himself. He has 30 seconds cooldown on TP, and LGD know this. That's a pretty big death. And what I was getting at is that in this mid lane now, this is how Huskar wants to play. He wants to stabilize the lane, get it on top of his own hill, and just deny. He lost control a little bit though, so there will be some experience coming the way of Weehaw, but maybe it's on purpose.
But Wee's over in the jungle. He's not even near that mid lane, so he's going to miss out. And that's quite a big miss when you miss out on 2 range creeps.
Absolutely. I think Somnus identified that Weehaw is playing, well, obviously he's playing jungle. He isn't in the lane, but maybe took a chance on how far Weehaw would be away and pushing it up just at that time. It's a really big loss for Wee.
Mind Control continues to contest this top lane. FY doing the best he can to pull. Looking for the denials against Mind Control. As GH made his move in towards mid lane. That is one person who can stand back in this lane.
Right. They can put the Rubik here, and he can just take some CS with Fate Bolt every wave, and Darkseer can get what he can top, but without help up here, once FY hits level 3, there's actually kill potential. So all you can do as Darkseer at that point is cut waves, and you see FY blocking up the big camp, nicely done. Mind Control will be forced to play in the lane into Ame, and that's where Lion can come in with those 2 long duration lockdowns and maybe set up a potential kill later on. He's just going to be pulling. Mind Control might even retreat to the jungle at some point because this feels kind of like a checkmate situation top. You can't pull, you can't stack, and you can't cut the wave.
Yeah, and so if you just Iron Shell the wave, Ame will farm it underneath the tower.
Yeah.
So even that push doesn't help you.
Yeah, he used 2 shells on a wave that isn't even going to touch a creep. That feels really bad. And this is because FY has pulled the small camp. Mind Control was hoping that these 2 Iron Shells would get him 2 or 3 CS. But instead he gets pretty much absolutely nothing. He'll get a little bit of experience from this creep wave coming his way. Yeah. But he's out of resources.
He needs that. He needs the Soul Ring.
Yeah, he's currently hovering both bottle and Soul Ring. I'm guessing he will go the Soul Ring route.
He can buy the bottom from the side, Miracle. That's a lot of damage from the dual breath, making him distinct twice by moving closer towards Chalice.
Kuro has the South Ring.
And he does. Kura's also got a decent amount of damage. With the movement off, Jakira's moving towards the bottom lane, looking for a rune. He's found a haste drone. Probably going to have a bit of a peek over and see what Weeha's up to.
Yep. Exactly.
As Weeha does not want to lose that big Dark Troll. X-Nova's watching him for it. Like, all right, do you want to attack him? All right, you ready? Yeah. Got him.
Oh, we got it.
And now, X-Nova, he hung around a little too long. GH has a pickup, has Fable available if he has to consume up the Mango. Weeha doesn't have a slow to work with, but X-Nova, and he got the dual breath off, so Weeha doesn't have the movement speed. X-Nova's going to come towards the tower, and Weeha, he's really chasing for this kill. This will be his first for the game. And Weeha even gives him a tip. It's like, thank you for making me work for it. Oh, nice stomp. Spirit's down as well. Charles, well, he's not going to be able to get the rune from this. And what's Kuro really got? Miracle. It's a lot of damage. They war cry up. X-Nova now arrives. It's 3 heroes with that dual breath. And Liquid feels like they have to back off, and rightly so.
He has the surge, so the Hex will not counter him off here, and he will get away. And he got a rune up here, so Liquid got 3 for 1. And that kill for TA. That's pretty good overall for them.
He's just banking. He's got 1,300 gold on this Darkseer for the moment.
He's gonna buy Soul Ring and a Raindrop.
Okay. Meanwhile, there's also mass observers and sentries coming out in that courier. So how do you feel like the timing is going at the moment? Kuro. Let's not talk about timings. Kuro needs to run for his life in the trees. This won't be the first time he's died running away from both Jakiro as well as Centaur. May not be the last. So how are you actually liking the timings? Like, you are 3 kills on the board, golden experience. It's a little bit the way of LGD, but no one has a clear outcome. Who does this really work well for?
It's working out well for LGD, but this is how I feel like every Huskar game is. It's like, have a good start, but if you have 1 or 2 bad fights, the hero just falls off really hard, in my opinion, in most games. So,
but he used to be known as the guy who needed like the Aegis, right, to actually stand in the fight. So is Roshan something they look towards, or is there other ways to ensure the fight?
They will absolutely want to get Roche later on. But you also usually, historically, have played Huskar with some sort of save so that you can keep him alive and make sure that regen kicks in. Classic combos of both Oracle and Dazzle, but there's not a single save on LGD in this game, so if you go in and commit as Huskar, you're not really getting out again outside of a Stampede.
Fire control's totally fine. He actually left the double Iron Shells up there, so he was getting experience in farm. They weren't really ready for the second one to come from the trees.
LGD are pressuring Miracle really hard. It's actually so far away from the Midas. Lifesteal is having a much better time than him. 400 gold ahead currently. And we also have to remember that Kuro has kind of sacrificed his game more than the supports of LGD have as well. Chalice level 6. And they're just not letting Miracle breathe. Every time he goes for a creep, they cast all their spells on him. And he's so low now that he's probably going to have to go to Shrine Up.
10 stick shot
already been used, so he can't even do that. He's playing down here with low health and a pack of tangos.
Not a lot to fight with. As you said, like, okay, so Kuro sacrifices himself, but you are getting a lot out of GH because you've put Weeha into the jungle. He's taking all of these stats.
Yes.
He's only 500 net worth behind that the Huskar, and keep in mind, these aren't lane creeps. These are jungle creeps. They're not even ancients. Now FY comes a little closer. He's underneath the TA trap. It'll trigger. GH has to get the telekinesis if they're going to get this kill. He actually goes for the attack. He doesn't go for the instant grab.
They're worried. They think there's more heroes here? Or... Well, not completely sure what he was scared of there. Maybe he must have thought there was some sort of backup coming, and they backed off.
I can tell you it wasn't Huskar, but maybe now he'll come. There's a double damage rune, so Somnus can have a bit of a peek over and see what Weeha's up to.
He's got to take
yeah, they're looking for a bigger kill. Kuro, drop as well. Miracle's coming over with a Stormhammer, as Kuro will put Chalice to sleep. But that double damage Somnus, Miracle doesn't see him. If he runs up this lane, he's totally dead. He has to get back behind the T1 tower right now. I think Kuro might have got a glimpse of him. And yep, they definitely see him now. Kuro cannot have enough time to get the stomp off of Miracle. To the trees and to TP. They stampede. LGD chasing Miracle down. He needs to almost Stormhammer too, and then begin the TP out to safety. Is there a stun? There is not! Miracle! The Burning Spears will not be enough damage to kill him.
Now X-Nova's going to skill Ice Path. Yep. You just know it. It's like, oh man, if only I had Ice Path.
1 point. I just need a 1 point. Yeah. I think you're short the banner too.
I had stick charge. It would have been enough, but yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense for him to.
GH. Instantly jumps, he's able to steal life break and then try and turn the damage back over, but that won't happen. Uncertain what he was looking to achieve in this bottom lane. Kuro as well as Miracle were a long way off.
And I think this is the first game on Jakiro that I've seen from Xnova that he doesn't skill Ice Path before level 5, but he just needed the attack speed slows in the lane against Kuro, so he maxed those 2 out first. And against Miracle, Dual Breath and Liquid Fire just amazing against this dual lane in particular.
And when do we see Weeha have an influence? Huskar rotates, and with the help of Centaur, they take a tier 1 tower instantly. Like, Weeha's been spending all this time in the jungle. He's building into the Desolator. There has to be a purpose here. There has to be an enabler.
Well, you're playing Sven and TA, and you lost your lanes, so you can't really do very much right now.
So
when you look
so you just recover until fight?
Yep. There are just very few plays available on the map. If you look at, yeah, you have to try to play catch-up, right? But it's not easy. Now you lost 4 bounty runes because your heroes can't really fight. And it's a strategic problem for Liquid in this game, absolutely. I would love to see them make moves, but which move would you suggest? They have Darkseer to play around with Ion Chill. He can try to fight with Miracle, but Miracle lost his lane pretty hard. He needs
and Miracle may die. The smoke maneuver from LGD. They get your life break forward. Miracle gets a quick stun out. Xnova. Hey, Ice Path's up and running. GH will end up stealing that. Maybe create space. No, the Dual Breath. It came out, so he can't create any level of space. And just back up and accept the fact that he's dead. 10.5-minute minus. He's also completed an Arme for his first usage. So the money for the cause, the 1 positions, really starting to separate heavily. 3.2k to the 4.8k.
Liquid just needs to keep pushing lanes. I think Miracle has to accept that he has to jungle, and you can either put the Darkseer, maybe put the Darkseer bottom and Sven top, but because Lifesteal is so far ahead, I think he's also going to struggle up there. So he's kind of limited on where to go. They need to just push waves out, try to get 1 or 2 key items. I think what you want to get is you want to get the TA Deso, and you want to get maybe 1 item on Sven, but he's going Midas, so that's also going to take forever. It's just, there's not the best pairings for Darkseer early game. You know, Liquid have played it with the Ember, they played it with the Alchemist. Sven is a slower version where you need levels in Vacuum, and you ideally want to
Here we go. Arme walk straight into them, pick him up, throw him down. They got the damage output. Yes, they do. Dead for 30 seconds without buyback available. And this will be an opportunity to push the lanes. Maybe even take a tier 1. Chalice will arrive.
That was the best possible play on the map. That's where they use the Dark.
Oh, they're going in. Wait. Chalice is coming back closer. He's trying to play around with them. There's still Iron Shell burn damage, but Chalice is drawing the attention away. Meanwhile, Xnova thinks about his rotation, but so does Kuro. Everyone looks so glowy. Chalice, open wound, stolen by GH. Here's the Storm balled out. Chalice, what does he want to do? Miracle staying with him. The Storm Hammer's already been committed. And with the extra support arriving from LGD, 4 heroes come to the top lane. But Kuro's Spirit, it comes in, and the Stampede comes forward. And what if he got stolen? It's only the double edge stolen. That's not exactly what GH wanted. But Xnova is with the Ice Path. Miracle doesn't have the movement speed anymore, and the Spirit's being pulled back in again. You do have ET Splitter, and Surge is coming off cooldown. So a lot of commitment from LGD, and all you got was the Rubik.
I love that detail from Chalice, though. I agree, it wasn't the best of a fight. They only got the Rubik kill, but he Stampedes and instantly double edges a creep next to him to make sure he knew GH was waiting for that Stampede to try to steal it, but he was just faster on the fingers there with getting the double edge off. Secures them that kill. Liquid, however, they will be putting pressure on the mid tower, and defense has to come in now. It's coming in through Xnova with the Macropyre. Should be able to hold this. He might need help from +1, and that's coming right now. Centaur will join. No Stampede, though.
Weeha really wants to finish this, but because he's overstayed his welcome, Chalice pounces with Xnova. They put him down. FY doesn't have the mana for a finger, but now he does! Goodbye, Templar Assassin. LGD go from taking the tier 1 tower on top to now bearing down on the tier 1 tower in mid.
That was surprising that that LGD stayed for that. Ichi Gaming? Nope, they're not in the tournament anymore. LGD actually... Liquid just kept going there with the Centaur TPing in and Jakiro in position, and they were only the TA and the Sven. These 2 heroes right now, they are not a threat. The threat in this game is Darkseer. He's the one enabling the Sven plays. He's the one that gave them this top kill in the tower. If you're without your Darkseer and you try to go into Centaur, there's no way that's going to work.
If the Desolator was done, it might have been a very different scenario, but...
Weeha barely got to attack. I think he would have died anyway. So a bit of a blunder, and this gives LGD an even bigger lead now to 4k gold. keeping the ramp up. Ame is not going Radiance. He's Armlet completed in about 100 gold, so that's another big power spike for them. But
I love this from
nice
GH.
power kill.
With the ice path, they can keep Chalice away from it, so we can't deny it.
This is, in my opinion, this is one of the absolute best spells to steal in the whole game. Like, not in this game, but in Dota in general. Ice Path on Rubik is insane. You have no cast time. You have the longer debuff amplification with the Arcane Supremacy once you start skilling that up. And GH, if Liquid are going to win this game, look for that spell in fights. You can get it.
They messed up the smoke a little bit, but Chalice is going to come out anyway. They saw him move inside the pit. He'll move a little bit further north. Templar Assassin wants to fight. He has to double damage through, but what are you going to do? Go into Roshan? They have to bait the fight. GH wasn't caught inside the smoke. That's why they feel a little bit less confident about this. Ice Path doesn't catch Chalice. It feels like Liquid are just like, they're throwing their fishing rod out there. Forgetting to hold on to the handle, however. Nothing's biting.
Oh.
No jump forward from Weeha, even with the surge up.
3 for 1 rune. LGD.
The Huskar who's not involved. Something you don't normally think you'd say 15 minutes into a game. Normally it's Huskar who's the one jumping forward. Somnus has 2 kills to his name, but he's building into the BKB first before it looks like he wants to fight.
That will be a crazy timing for LGD, because if he has BKB before the TA and the Sven does, he can just jump in with 0 risk. He can always just use the disarm if he gets in trouble.
Stampede, they're coming forward. GH picks him up. He's probably able to steal Stampede, but as you said, he doesn't want it. He wants Ice Path instead. As Chalice walks away underneath the ET Spirit.
I don't want it. Yep. Indeed, I mean, even though there's only 1 minute left on Ice Path, you see the prioritization there from GH. He thinks it's
God. There needs to be help and miracle. Ice Path, finger. Once again, Liquid, they just have one player who's a little bit over into LGD's territory.
They were not ready at all for that play to come in from LGD. Another Ice
Here they go. Connects over on, and then you get 2 back from GH. So you can lower a little bit of the damage of Chalice, but Somnus has joined the fight. Denial of the tower there from GH.
Nicely done. LGD, it's a little bit of a thorn in their side this Rubik in this game, getting that deny as well, but I think they're still feeling pretty good about their chances. All of their cores are having a great game. Lion also having an outstanding game. Even the Jakiro, X-Nova, who we generally see be really poor, when he's playing this Jakiro, you just get that extra farm that you don't see on other 5s. He's up to 31 CS, very high for him 16 minutes in. Has that extra 1k gold over Coral. And that can either be converted into a core item like a Force Staff that he's building right now, or it can just give him superiority in terms of the sentry game.
So much confidence from LGD when you switch into Halberd for Somnus. No BKB protection required. They feel confident.
But there's a big timing coming up for Liquid at least. The Templar Assassin is getting Dagger after these 2 camps in the jungle. Sven's close to Echo Saber, Darkseer's close to Mech. When all of these items align, Liquid will try to take a fight, I think, because you can't just keep playing the map like this. You will get caught off once in a while, and it's too expensive. You need to fight for the Roshan and not let LGD take that on the Huskar. They might be playing kind of a game of chicken, like around this Roshan pit. Who wants to try to go for it first and then you counterplay?
It's gonna wait inside the pit. Chalice is coming in there to try and get rid of the TA traps. They have a sentry ward nicely in the middle, but it's funny because that Radiant sentry ward is in range of the Dire Obs, but they can't cross the river.
Yeah.
That's where 2 of those deaths from Team Liquid happened.
I'm not even sure they know there's a ward there. Have they had vision there for a while? It's nighttime.
They haven't walked close enough to it since they put the sentry down.
Their Ops doesn't see it though. Liquid don't know, right?
I don't believe so, no. If they did, GH would have gone for that money a long time ago.
Well, it can be dangerous to go and deward this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just
like, I'll steal the regeneration rune. He's keeping assistance. Aether lens first from the Rubik. It's the same for the Lion. They both want to be these great players from the back lines. But it always feels like FY's lining up everything. He comes again with the Hex and the stun. That refraction won't protect him. X-Nova, the perfect chain stun with the Ice Path, and Weeha, refraction, meld, still sits and burns.
That Aetherlings and Lion. Weeha was trying to play around the possibility of getting jumped from the side. He probably had his finger on the dagger in case of an Ice Path, or in case of Lion walking into Hexen, but that lends extra range. FY gets him from the trees.
LGD's going in.
And that's go time, yep. No TA for 25.
GH is trying to reach the Jakiro, but it feels like X-Nova is playing just close enough but far enough away.
This has a full halberd. Sven can't even fight into him unless they get a perfect combo.
Here comes the ET Spirit, GH. What's he got? Stampede forward. He only got Mantray now the line. Not what he was searching for. The ice path. Not in the best position, but with a finger of death, it won't matter. Rubik can buy back into the game. Roshan down at 3.2k. TA's up in 2 seconds time with that blink dagger. It's quite possible to contest Roshan. But do they have enough with the surging forward in the Darkseer? No, it's just Arme. He's creating space, allowing him to go in for Roshan, but Huskar hasn't finished the job. Roshan's coming out of the pit. He can't be attacked there. They jump in the double stun with a clean damage. They've already gone through two. Santor and Shakira will fall. Miracle wants to finish Roshan with that gold spray. Something tries to push him back. Aegis Immortal is in the hands of Miracle, just like game one. But this time around, LGD may not be able to get out of the pit. They create some copies. Charles comes in close. A great double hawk up. More space being created by Kuro. He brings in a lot of damage himself with the Stormbolt. They're able to just keep Charles in position. Huskar's already down. TA refusing to buy back. Kuro trying to run back out this one. Miracle back to life, face the Aegis Immortal. And that's going to be like, wasn't that the best case scenario for Team Liquid?
Yeah, I would still call that a victory. Oh, there's a Hex, but he got the rune already, FY. He's going to back off.
Is it just because you don't have the Aegis on the Huskar?
Yeah, you're pretty happy with that. Like, the whole sequence leading up to this, with the kills, with TA dying, with then GH dying and having to buy back.
There's two buybacks as well from the Centaur and the Chikiro.
Yep, you got a core buyback out of LGD, and you got the Aegis. You also got the Roach kill, right? It wasn't the steal.
It was Roshan killed, yep, by Radiant.
So, all things considered for Liquid, that's not that bad.
Oh, Darkseer, once again, this Aether Lens of FY comes into work. 8-1 chances are available. Darkseer able to get the surge, mind control, getting some distance. And now they try and turn around in for the Storm. Arme, he committed the rage. The Miracle will come in with the Iron Shell. They'll get these great step chain stuns. FY, he's going to split the fight once again. But Arme, he's armlet toggling his way to safety. Weeha needs to chase him down. There's your burst damage. Arme still continues to toggle. And the impact into the catapult. Liquid, they really, really, really want Arme, but they may have to settle for FY. He's still worth quite a lot, however. But it's not what you came for.
It's a kill nonetheless, and you have to remember that whole sequence started because they tried to go on mind control. So when you consider mind control survived and they got a counter kill, it's pretty decent. But at the same time, LGD, of course, they weren't there with their whole squad. It was just 2 heroes pulling, 3 or 4 heroes. I don't remember even how many Liquid had there, but it took them really long and they started rotating around. Huskar and Centaur in the meantime, completely free farming and keeping up, building up these items. And we should remember, Somnus, by buying this halberd that he did in the last fight, didn't have BKB. It's going to be his next item. And when he hits this timing and gets an Aegis, things get really scary. So the next big objective of the game again is going to be Roche, but it doesn't spawn until in 6 minutes, so there'll be a lot of items on the field.
I'd say we have some time, but LGD smirk up. They're coming for a hunt. No blink dagger just yet over on Charles, so there's still no jump ability from LGD. Something we haven't actually seen at all. Defensive infest, sure. Aggressive, not yet. Mind Control's going to surge himself straight into the middle of him and walks away with the stun. The range is too good from FY. Hits the finger of death. The damage on the Mind Control. He doesn't have time to stop being a fish. Get that back as well as one charge off. And now the Blink Dagger is here from the Centaur. Arme, do you want to hitch a ride? Charles is a good driver.
I don't think there's any reason to do anything right now except get this bottom tower. Want to start? I don't think you go high ground here for LGD. That would be pretty dangerous. I think you absolutely wait for an Aegis before you think about going that route. So they're going to spread around the map again, maybe get an aggressive ward out in the enemy triangle if they can get over there. Somewhere in that area would be nice, but maybe they will catch Miracle.
And TP comes towards the top lane under the dire Ops and Sentry. They feel very, very comfortable, but you do have FY, maybe in no man's land. As it is daytime, they see FY quite clearly, put him to sleep, and then jump. A chance coming in. He's got a surprise. Package delivery for Team Liquid. Will you receive? They will. Miracle. The damage is so huge, but then he turns around with his own cleave damage. Trying to bring down the Centaur with the Darkseer wall, the Ice Path, X-Nova. Everyone just stops and looks at each other, frozen to the bone. But now Huskar jumps forward, over towards Kuro, looking for his own fight, but GH, he's killed off Chalice. They want the other one. They want Life Sealer. The Storm. Arme on almost no life now turns to Weeha. He doesn't have the sustain. He's disarmed. He can't attack. Down for a minute. Miracle still able to clean up the supports. Both down for LGD. Arme and Somnus running away from themselves. And Team Liquid finding that big combination It feels like it's starting to work from Team Liquid. That back into a big Stormhammer, into heavy damage, even when Miracle doesn't have the heavy damage. He's just an Echo Saber and Midas.
Yeah, but the big items are coming out from Liquid too. They're close to BKBs on both TA and Sven.
Blink GH
Those
too.
are truly game-changing items because that's something Huskar is just not very good against. Once BKBs are popped, his efficiency drops.
The sustain's getting through the roof too. Darkseer, mind control. And he just keeps, he plays this, the old aura kind of style. Vlad's is done, the mech's available, GH on the Rubik. We already saw how amazing FY was in game 1. With this Blink Dagger, he's now been even more enabled. And we see this whole fight, the disarm just wrecking apart.
The Surge is also extremely important to keep in mind against the Lifestealer in these fights. Whoever Lifestealer goes on gets surged away until he has either a Nullifier or the hero is stunned by Lion or the Centaur. So in that fight, Miracle ended up kiting Lifestealer for a good 5 to 10 seconds behind the tree line. Just couldn't get on top of him properly. That's what Lifestealer wants. This hero hates playing against Surge. He hates playing against Force Staffs.
And that's exactly what's in the group buy.
Yep.
Need a little bit more time for TA to finish that BKB. Actually, with the range creeps up on top, she is... Well, with this creep wave, we'll now have the money. So BKB for Sven, BKB for TA, and now also BKB for Huskar. So hey, everyone gets a BKB. Look under your chair.
And Lifestealer has one, by default.
And he's gonna get a second one as well. Through Rage as well as item.
Yep. Not fully convinced that that's the right choice in this game for Amit to do. I get what the idea is, that these fights are going to be long and you want to be able to do something outside of Rage and Sustain, but the trade-off is that you lose a lot of damage that you could have had by going an AC route or a Nullifier for the Infest jump out of Centaur to kill up, like blow up pretty much anybody that you could find. That is what you're trading off here. But he is committed already with the Mithril Hammer. He's not going to commit to anything else.
TA was in range of the Observer and Sentry Ward when the smoke happened. It was very, very late on the smoke. LGD aware, they even hit the scan. And that smoke maneuver from Team Liquid. TA Trap trying to scout out the Centaur in the trees. He'll come down and kill it. It's like, well, if you want me, come at me, bro. The TA Trap will trigger again, a quick blink away. But he's still sitting behind the tower, and the rest of LGD smoked up, moving in. The Stormhammer, it's already over with the crisscrossing of the Ice Pass. Thomas will jump forward. Miracle, he needs protection. Having the damage against Thomas and the pickup. They catch out the Jakiro. The Ice Pass will be removed by Weehab. Melt striking down next Nova. Armade's going to walk up the hill to put that BKB to use while the initiation. The shot from Callus and the double stun. The backwall combo won't hit enough. In fact, the disarm on TA. She has to run away. The BKB cannot protect her.
The last attack from a Lion is going to kill her. She would actually survive if not for that one attack.
He doesn't even have the plus 90 damage.
Was surged up, was BKB'd, was running away, had dagger soon, was BKB'd. BKB twice, apparently?
You can't.
Man. What a spell combo from LGD there. The original jump when they force out the Sven BKB and reset, Liquid feel good about themselves and feel like they can play round 2 with the Huskar BKB going on cooldown. But they reconnect, and that jump was just excellent from Chalice. The jump on his own shrine. Getting the information from the Observer Ward earlier.
So now LGD try and take control of the north. Anything that helps understand where Team Liquid's coming at them, even an infested Centaur. Not just control, if they're able to kill right now, Roshan will be in 15 seconds.
Spawning super fast. This is almost minimum spawn time. I believe the clock just ticked over, so this is a very fast Roshan spawn. Liquid will know they have a trap in the pit, so they will know it first.
Miracle can't even join this. His TP's on cooldown for another 17 seconds. He's pushing the bottom lane. And LGD, they're hovering around this tier 2 tower on the top. GH is pressuring the mid. So Liquid just trying to relieve the pressure.
Yeah, they're not defending this top tower. But they might find a double damage for the Sven. That could be really big if there ends up being a fight. He's not looking there, though.
No, it's a dire Observer Ward. Actually, no, it's still a little... No, it sees. And it sees Weehar as well, planting more and more traps
Weehar
around.
sees it now. He's going to walk into this DD. Liquid might want to fight with it. See if they take it on either of these two.
Who wants it?
Nobody yet. Is there a bottle coming?
There's a Rubik coming. That's all. You ain't giving it to him. So Roshan's up, but with Liquid having the trap, the second LGD begin it. Liquid will know. And they're going to smoke up. The double damage room, but of course, again, the Observer Ward is just... How many times must Liquid smoke underneath this? And look what LGD do. It's like, well, we'll sit underneath our Observer in Sentry. You take outside the map and we'll take yours. Dire, well, the Courier will get sniped as it moves over the top of the Templar Assassin, revealing the fact there is the DD, but the Observer and Sentry. Someone needs to drop something right now. They dropped two, well, yeah, Observer Sentry down, but that actually got scouted up by the other ops. Centaur, hooked up, Chalice! He blindly went into the trees. They thought he was in there. He was for a moment. Now the pick up and throw down. It looks like Liquid are uncertain if they really want to have this fight. Weeha hits the backlines, looking for X-Nova as well as FY. He's able to actually keep them controlled and actually get the kill on FY. Thanks to the stop, Jakiro is actually asleep in the trees. Miracle's trying to come through. The TA trap will get the reveal. X-Nova, Miracle actually dodging at least the ice path, but the finger from FY will bring down Sven. Kuro needs to go back into the stop. Arme's protected by the rage, so he's fine. Quick buyback from FY. They still don't know that Roshan's up. TA set up a couple of extra traps in there.
And that was a good play from Weeha, that fight. He jumps in and forces the supports away and gets a kill on one of them, forcing out the buyback from FY. This is what TA needs to do in this game. Jump in and kill the Lion, if possible.
Got rid of the ult.
though, he's
Somnus
gets out, just barely.
Defensive refractions available. Chalice. Look at Arme. It's like, yeah, this ain't happening. Back to farm, boys. Remember Roshan. Remember the bounty rune that you walked past. Go back and get it. There's still another 2 on the bottom lane. But everyone's eyes are on Roshan.
Well, for now, Huskar will grab the bottom 2 runes. Closing in on an AC.
Love of this from GH. He's managed to steal a level 2 Finger of Death. So there's a little bit of extra burst damage that Liquid has to work with.
That's a lot of damage. That's not a little bit.
Spell amplification of 26%. You'll take it. Probably should also take that Sentry Ward while you've got the Spirit up there, but he's feeling a little cautious. Everyone's backing up. I'm not seeing a smoke right now on Liquid. The Radiant are scanning, and it does ping. It's Arme just farming up the Ancients. The TA traps are gone from Roshan, so the Sentry Ward planted down by X-Nova. In fact, 3 of them in a triangle watching anything around the river area.
They have pretty good control here right now. With the Solar Crest and Centaur, they also kill Roche relatively quickly with the Huskar. So Liquid should be feeling a bit of urgency of staying up here and getting up here in the first place, and they will connect, but obviously Huskar, in the meantime, pushing out and farming bottom, taking advantage of Liquid having to regain this area.
As long as Kuro can stay in range, you can at least keep checking Roshan, like sending the Spirit out. You can put down extra TA traps. Even if you do want, like, you see the TA trap in there, you have to enter the pit to get rid of it. And this is just great information, but you're putting him up on the hillside for the moment. As it becomes a 5v4 standoff in the front of Roshan. Huskar, as you mentioned, the only one not there. He's trying to finish the Assault Cuirass as quick as possible. While a heart is the choice from Arme. Attempting to become the Immortal. Chalice this time around, not caring about magical damage. He'll jump in. You'll see the TA trap. This is what we're talking about. Uncertain if he really wants it. GH gets the pick up and the back trap. Pull Chalice as far over to the Radiant side of the river as possible. The only thing you were missing was the ability to turn him around and force-stomp him over.
If they had a stun to connect with there, maybe they could have tried to go for a burst with the finger, but didn't get the opportunity. Sven was too far away for a Stormhammer.
And you need 25 on TA to get that meld dash.
Yep. He's getting there.
He is.
Level 21.
So is Sven. Like, what happens once he hits that plus 40 God Strength?
Then he gets 40 Strength.
That's a fact. Can't debate.
Man, this is so tense, right? Like, you can imagine what it's like playing for both of these teams right now with the limited vision that you have with the importance of Roshan.
Oh, that's close, Arme.
He's got a heart, though.
There's your blink up. GH starting with the Meld Strike.
Oh, that's
Put the
not
heart to the test. The Ice Path off point, and the BKB, the 8-second one, burnt from Weeha.
They wanted to try to force something there onto the Lifestealer, but he got the heart, got instant force staff, and now there's no TA BKB in this fight. That's really, really bad news for Liquid.
And LGD's loving it. Baited into it, Miracle. As the Iron Shell's ready to go, you will need that jump from Mind Control. They back! Pulling Chalice up the hill! Not willingly dying! The easy splitter going through Roshan, and look at him go quickly. Centaur has buyback available. Someone forward, instantly down to half life. But he's looking for two of them. Through Roshan. Hiding inside the pit is Arme. The Spirit continues to cause problems for LGD. And a huge buyback on the Centaur, but a double damage rune for Lifestealer. The 34-minute rune. They'll create a copy thanks to this Darkseer wall. Another ET Spirit. Move in. Rage is available. Arme's not going to use it. He'll go to sleep. And break free instantly. Nobody wants to take the risk of really committing to Roshan.
If Liquid come back in this game, that vacuum is what started it all. That's such a huge kill. 3k gold swing, they force a buyback out on Centaur, and there is the risk of Chalice dying again.
Here comes LGD. The Infest is inside the Centaur. Chalice will be the sacrificial one. Rubik, he's just waiting on the edge. GH has Blink Dagger available, and Miracle, well, already hit. Somnus attacked over on the side. Centaur, you got a quick steal. What's going to be Ice Path? No, it's going to be Dual Breath only. LGD so pressured around Roshan. Even Roshan fighting against him. The Clamp is like, would you mind not fighting on my doorstep? Get off my lawn. The Stomp, it won't connect properly. Macropyre is down. Roshan, 1.5k. If Liquid are going to jump, they're going to jump down. The TI truck gives the information.
Oh,
Thomas actually got the Aegis, the Immortal. The back, pull him away for GH. Here's your grab. They get the stun. LGD, Aegis and Cheese both being gained. The Cheese is on the Lifestealer, Aegis on the Huskar. Now they have a Soul Cuirass and a ticket to push down the lane. They will look for this tier 3 tower and tier 2 tower in mid. And what does Liquid have to defend with? They have Miracle too far out under the tier 2 tower. He'll turn for the stun onto the Lifestealer. But remember, he's got the heart. Army doesn't care about taking damage. He even gave the Cheese over to the Centaur.
They push so fast. They have 2 siege creeps here as well.
Yep, up they come on the tier 3. Rubik still doesn't want to buy back. Mind Control creates a couple of copies. Turn Arme and Somnus against his own team. Miracle looking to turn on the sound as here comes LGD through the mid. Rage has already been burned. Templar Assassin's not joining this fight. Weeha's on bottom lane, still trying to push a tier 1 tower. The Fang, once again, Mind Control. He pulls up Life Steal in the grab from GH. They want to hold him there, but the BKB still bell from Arme. While he's got the Rage down, Somnus stands his own ground. Remember, he's got the Aegis Immortal. Will it burn? He's firing up away. They give him the life.
The only big spell committed here is the God Strain.
Weeha's waiting, too close. The Sentry Ward was planted down. They saw his Melt Trap instantly disarmed, so Weeha couldn't attack.
God Strength is now on cooldown for a full minute. LGD, they might want to press the issue, knowing that this is off the table for Liquid. It's a big part of their damage. It's what makes the vacuum combo so strong.
They're backing off for the moment.
Yep.
Fresh items. Vlad's for the Centaur coming out. You do have a finished Solar Crest. Mind Control managed to get the Courier up and around LGD in order to get that back into his hands. LGD have the time. They have the Aegis, they have the Cheese, but they also have this insane Lifestealer to be the front liner. Miracle is waiting up the hill. Surge him to get him away. They start the damage over into Somnus. As you said, without God Strength, they have to work a little bit harder to get this early damage in. Somnus stands his ground, pushes him back. There's another disarm. Arme, they take the tier 3 tower. Somnus is low. Arme's close. The Metal Strike will also connect. Low on armor, but Somnus still stands his ground. There goes your melee rack. You see just how ineffective Liquid are until they pull him back with the back. Under a bell. Holy shit! Chalice! He gets the jump with the follow-on Ice Path! Liquid totally caught out! Somnus is low, but he's still got the Aegis! They haven't burned through it! The BKB protects the 4-star! FY! He just grabs Somnus, pulls him away! I got your back! And here we go! A reinsert! The Storm Bolt! The 3-man stop with the ET splitter! Miracle needs to hit! And now he can do so! 2 heroes down! Sentinel there for a long time, but Arme will still stand his ground! He doesn't have the Aegis Immortal, but that's why you got it from Somnus! He'll come back to life again, and where's your extra damage? Now he buys back the Mel Strike. How much knife have they got? Double force up. The support from LGD working so well for Team Liquid. They need to hunt a little bit more. Somnus puts them away. They have the damage from range. LGD, you do take the mid lane of Rax. The buybacks are heavy, and when I say heavy, I mean heavy. 4 heroes fought back. Only Darkseer avoided it. But Liquid sort of hold.
They need to get something big in return here. If you can force buybacks out the other way, the game is still blown wide open. Was the Cheese used in this fight? No, it's still on Centaur. Centaur never got it off. That could have made such a big difference. They get a buyback out of Xnova. Darkseer, minute 40. A hero that has twice his CS.
And now, if Liquid group up without that immunity, they're going to get hit pretty damn hard. A level 3 finger with the +5 buffs.
Lifesteal level 25. Sven level 25 takes the God Strength. Lifesteal taking the Rage duration. No surprises there for either.
So that's now going to be, yeah, 26 seconds worth of immunity for Arme. Beating into the tier 3 tower. Team Liquid still wondering where this fight's going to come from. Arme just doing it all himself. Sven doesn't want to fight, not until they get the combination.
Yeah, he needs the, oh, he does have the MKB. Okay.
Now you get the meld hit bash as well from Weeha, so they get a little bit more control. But without the buybacks available, Darkseer is the only one who has it. That's why they just buy up their items as quickly as they possibly can.
But once this wall runs out, that's a big tool gone for this defense for Liquid.
It's going to be a huge stun. But to catch Lifestealer without both of his immunities, it's unlikely. But LGD, they're giving respect to Team Liquid. They're not just going to barge their way up. Not yet.
So another butterfly being purchased. This one is for Weeha's TA. Also level 25, as we mentioned, with the melt hit bash. So has overtaken Somnus by a level. By the way, Somnus' level 25 is important in this game. The pure damage burning spears could be a big difference maker. I'm assuming he will take that and not the attack range, but you never know. Attack range is also really strong. It's a lot of range, 175.
Yeah, keep your distance from that combination of Team Liquid.
Yeah.
Liquid are coming out, just try and force the lane and give just that little bit of extra farm to Weeha. They're still trying to wait out the 3.5 minutes. That's how long their buybacks are left on cooldown. And fighting inside the pace feels like the best opportunity. I don't think GH has the steal he wants either. Open wounds. They might be able to increase their sustain if they can just get... Oh, Centaur caught out by that. Maybe the easiest one. Fresh sentries to be planted. Here comes LGD once more.
They are very well set up if he walks up on the high ground here. Milk bash.
Oh, pick him up, throw him down, connect with the stuns, and the back up. Lifestealer instantly explodes, and now Team Liquid. GH, what's he able to steal? It's going to be the Ice Path. Buyback came in so quickly from the Lifestealer, but God Strength has been burned.
God Strength and Wall, but they and BKB on TA. But this Lifestealer is not out of the woods yet. He could still get killed. Maybe they absolutely need the God Strength. They probably do. That was kind of everything from Liquid used. The second life should be easier. He could even infest into the Centaur if he wants to play it really safe.
Send the clone out. FY can get rid of that quickly. The ET stop maybe a little too early from Kuro. Doesn't slow down the wave, but pick up Somnus. Throw him away into the wall, and then the follow-up Ice Path fortification has to be used to try and dissuade Arme, as he did burn the rage, but Somnus has the cheese. He's quite happy to stand the front lines as long as they can't chain stun him. Here's your Ice Path to begin, and you got Miracle with Stormhammer, but Chalice staying close. He doesn't have any retaliate stacks up, but he gets the hooks up over on Miracle. Do they want to jump in a little bit deeper? The Ice Path, once again, this one's from X-Nova, and then the chain back. Chalice, he's in way too deep once more. They bring him down. The racks are still going to fall. Somnus taking care of that as Centaur will buy back into the game. He's walking his way forward, but Somnus caught a little bit too far around the back. He never got the cheese off. Team Liquid have still got a lane of racks. X-Nova protects himself inside the Ghost Scepter. Weeha once more. He'll jump forward towards FY, protected by the Ghost Scepter. He actually stopped the meld attack from connecting, but now into the trees. He gets his quick stun up, but GH has the range. He'll grab him, he'll control him, and FY will fall. It still feels like every time Team Liquid want to try and take one of these fights, they have to sacrifice such a huge amount, but they may get the big thing here. Roshan in 15 seconds.
This is a Liquid win for sure. They lost Barracks, but the amount of buybacks that have to come out from LGD here, it's more important at this stage of the game to force out these buybacks. The heroes now are way stronger than the Barracks in terms of the impact in this game, so...
This is so huge as well. This is the advantage of Templar Assassin. The trap comes up, they know that Roshan's there, and Liquid are going straight in for it. They have God Strength, as you said. They have the damage output, and this is an Aghanim Scepter upgrade. It's not a refresher.
Somnus not BKPing that Ice Path may just be his biggest mistake of the game. He could have maybe BKB'd and run it off, or maybe got out somehow with the help of his teammates, but in the end, ends up dying. And of course, Chalice's jump into the base to start it all off, maybe overextending a little bit. LGD, yes, you get the barracks, but at this point, Aghanim's now on Rubik for free. And we see the replay here. The stun comes in. See, Chalice is just jumping. And I mean, yes, it's nice to jump on the Sven, but none of your teammates can connect. They're way too far away. He buys the time for them to get the barracks, and now he's going to buy back and start connecting back into the fight. And this is where, Somnus, you can't BKB TP out because of the meld bash that you're scared of, but this ice path, you have to BKB that one so that your teammates can go and help you. Not doing that, it gets blown up, and it's very easy for Liquid to run them down after that.
Just see that facial expression. It's like, guys, it's meant to be a little bit better. Miracle, maybe starting to feel a little bit more confident as well. It's like, I have some damage output. With the buybacks all being up in 5 seconds time, Liquid can feel strong. But do they want to finish the Daedalus over on Miracle? It will cost him his buyback, however. They're checking the wars, they're checking the vision. LGD's had control of this map for a very long time. Liquid, they've only just started to remember what the jungle looks like. But Weeha with a double damage room would love an engagement. Puts the BKB in the backpack. And they smoke up. Well out of range of LGD's vision, but Chalice is waiting. Lifestealer is sitting inside of him. Ame ready to pop out. And Weeha, how aggressive do you want to be? The TA trap, they'll see. The smoke will break. They understand the Chalice is in the tree line.
Somnus is the one guy in LGD that has buyback. If anybody gets caught, LGD want it to be Somnus so he can come back in the fight. There's a huge life advantage for Liquid here with 4 heroes with buybacks. The only guy without it is Kuro, and that's just because of gold. He now has the completed Lotus Orb. I think that's new. If you want to say it's new.
I'll say it's new. That way I could be wrong and you could be right. I like that movement from Team Liquid. They're just trying to guess exactly where they are. So the smoke broke, but it took them a couple of seconds before they did the vac into the ice path combination. And GH is the man who has to go down to the bottom lane to defend it. He's actually buying boots of travel, so he's able to hold this wave back, keep it off the tier 4 towers, but then still rejoin the team, thanks to the fact the top wave and the mid wave have both been pushed in so heavily by Team Liquid.
He's going to travel top now. Liquid want to make a move.
But the creep wave's still inside the base.
Yeah, this is very telling, the fact that GH left. I'm surprised he didn't push out this one extra wave first before traveling up there, because
they're baiting.
It's not rocket science what's going on right now. It's super obvious for LGD. And
the TP has to come home. It's Weeha who TP's home this time. He'll buy his own boots of travel. Just one after the other. Yo, guys, we need someone who's a better clearance than just the Rubik. But it still feels like GH is critical to the initiation of Team Liquid. It's either the VAC or it's the telekinesis.
Yep, and the stolen ice path, which has finally now expired for GH. Is there anything else he can steal that's cool this game? Stampede would be great. It's an Ag Stampede for him.
Yep. Obviously, you'd love Finger of Death with the VAC wall combination that they currently get, but that's a little harder to grab. Yeah. You'll still take the Earth Spike, because that's going to be your Ravage.
Yeah, it's decent. I still think Ice Path is the best spell to get. If he gets that, he's super happy.
Ends up stealing in a fire, like,
yeah, every spell can be useful in the right conditions, but the chance of that being useful compared to Ice Path is...
It's like watching Rubik steal Exorcism. It's like, well, I've got to stay on the front lines now. I don't think I like the scenario. So Weeha's taking care of the bottom lane.
LGD with good wards here. They know exactly what's going on.
But because they actually lost that fight, like, the Gem of True Sight's in the hands of Team Liquid. And they're getting rid of all the extra vision.
Well, they didn't find all of them. They didn't find the one at the bottom rune.
Yeah, just on the other side of the tree line. And the sentry was in range. He's just got to walk around a corner to see it. Right through the backdoor regeneration. This will be the last outer tower to be removed from the map. No tier 1s, no tier 2s for either side. Of course, Liquid's got a couple of, like, well, it's got a little bit more financial damage to their home. LGD still have all their tier 3 towers up, but Liquid, they're the aggressors. As you said, counting down those buybacks from LGD. They do not want to have this fight yet. And they are not giving the opportunity to Team Liquid, but they're giving the space. So much farm. The gold swing has just rapidly increased since the 40-minute mark. It has just gone up. It has plateaued slightly, but the experience and gold advantage is belonging to Team Liquid. And they're going to take the 50-minute bounty runes as well. So this will shoot up once again.
LGD will be fighting for the next set of bounties. If nothing happens before that, they will definitely be fighting for those.
I think it's courier kill time. It's coming under the Observer Ward. It's got the Eagle Song of FY. So that's an E-Blade pickup from the Lion to go with its AoE Finger of Death. Sure.
Yep, they have no nullifiers on Liquid side, so he can save cores now. That is a really, really important item here. When you have Lens, as Lion does right now, the cast range on this E-Blade is really significant. And that means that if Ame, for example, goes in and gets opened upon, can just get E-Bladed really quick. There's no, he doesn't have Stormhammer to spell, right? No, he has movement speed talent on Sven.
Got a Blink Dagger as well, though, for Mind Control. Welcome to your jump in. Yep.
Yep.
And the Gem of True Sight is having to be handed over. Actually, is it? No, Mind Control's holding on to it. I thought he might give it to Kuro, but Kuro's at the back lines.
Yeah, he wants to hold on to that one.
GH got Infest.
Oh, is he going to swallow someone?
Oh, yeah, true. You can... Hey, who can I take?
You can bring in the Sven into the middle of the fight and instantly die on Rubik.
Hey, he doesn't. Is that actually what they do? Because you instantly die on Rubik. But yeah, you don't have a Blink Dagger on the Sven, so it will be a delivery system. Here comes LGD. They come out with the smoke breaking underneath the Observer Ward. Now Mind Control. He feels good to potentially move forward, but they'll scout with the Spirit first. Charles is still ready to get his own jump out. Like, the tension in the air is palpable. LGD, they're desperate for this kind of engagement now. The buybacks, they're still not fully off cooldown, but they will be in 10 seconds time. But Charles is not getting the opportunity he's searching for. Mind Control's back on the bottom lane for the moment. He doesn't have BTs to get back to the front lines. He's just got the Surge. Stomp, a little bit off target. Miracle, able to grab the DD rune, and LGD, any thoughts they had of a fight just disappeared when that rune was grabbed.
Would have maybe, they would have loved to have a bottle there. I think bottling this DD could have been really useful. You're 52 minutes into the game. I think one of Liquid's cores really should have a bottle by now. Just buy it in order to store runes, grab these DDs and find a fight later. I think maybe Weehaw buying a bottle now would be great. But he's prioritizing level 2 Boots of Travel. He already has the Moon Shard, and then he's pretty much maxed out unless he wants to replace an item for a Hex or Bloodthorn.
And LGD know if they just get this win, they get a rematch against OG in the grand final. Team Liquid, they're on the edge. But if they can force a decider, maybe we actually see the history. You were saying it before, Send. Since TI9, TI9 is the only TI that hasn't had a Chinese team in the grand final. Still a tall ask, but Liquid will group up. They have smoke available on the Elder Titan. Double damage has worn off, and Roshan will respawn in 10 seconds time, so we just keep the action flowing.
This one has everything. It's Roche number 4.
It's a smorgasbord.
No, it's Roche number 3, right? No, it's number 4. It's number 4.
Yeah, it's number 4. We had the Aegis buff up before. That's what Rubik was able to swallow. He still probably would want to have this Aeon disc before he starts the fight, but only a 2.7k surplus. That's okay.
I think the ideal
Here comes
thing,
Somnus.
if LGD somehow get this Roche, I think you want both the Ags and the Refresher on the Centaur. That would be absolutely huge for the game for them. It will give them so much more sustain against these engagements that Liquid are taking.
This is so hilarious.
And I wonder why Chalice isn't going Ags this game. It feels like a really good choice against this jump-in burst from Liquid. He could keep his core alive. But this time around, he's fancying the Shiva, of course, also a great item against these physical-based heroes. But the Axe would really be nice. Maybe he's just hoping to get it from a Roche.
It's like, I'll have this, but if we can get Roshan, it'll be better. It'll be cheaper. All right, so finally, GH. That Aeon disc is flowing out to him. Buyback surplus of 100. No one wants to lose this. Templar Assassin's going to BT herself over as well. She's going all the way back home. She BT'd now, level 2s are up. But the pressure's being applied to the bottom lane.
And now there's the potential for GH to bait, actually, in the coming fight with this Aeon disc. If he gets jumped,
hey, he has the infest. You've got the delivery system.
I mean, I would love to see it, but I don't think that's going to happen. But he would be able to instantly, after the disc pops, he can force step away and use the cheese if he needs to maybe bait LGD out of position, maybe make them use a BKB or two, and then they can take the fight from there.
This is actually so stupid. So GH will go to the bottom lane. He's pushing the lane out with the Fade Bolt, wants to grab the 55-minute bounty runes. He's a little bit careful about going for the others. They Radiant Scanny, because the stupid thing is, for the last 5 minutes, just like the last Roshan, both teams know exactly where the other team is. I'm on my high ground, you're on your high ground. Together the two shall meet at some point, but the some point is the question mark, and hey, GH is back. It's amazing that Liquid have kept that shrine alive. Like you're down so much of your base and you still have the shrine behind Roshan.
It's actually crucial that that shrine is there. And I think it's a mistake from LGD that they haven't managed to get in and take it at some point. There must have been an opportunity at some point to get in.
LGD will smoke. They're looking to do their own wraparound. Miracle in the meantime is cleaning up the wave. I'm seeing 6.8k on this Ben. A 3.2k surplus. The wraparound behind, Observer and Sentry are there. The smoke will break instantly. Reaction, GH blinks the other side. A quick pickup over on the Husker. Gives himself a double stump, but they do not want to fight this one. Still Liquid. Roshan is still the primary objective. LGD know they were vision up on the high ground. Sven protected by the Lotus Orb. Lets them be on the front lines, but they found their target. Weeha on the other side of Roshan. Instantly exploded by the finger of death with FY. It was backed up, but now the TPs come forward. Someone's too far up. He has the cheese. He has the Titanic. They just keep control, but the E-Blade protected for the moment and gets him with the charge. They move themselves further away from the ET split of a Miracle. Where's your damage? Charles with another double hooks up. Delivering in the life stealer. Will feed through Koro. The Fade Bolt control. Huskar goes down as well. They're still battling underneath the shrine. Darkseer, you need a little bit more life for this, but the wall, they actually get a good couple of copies, but where is your extra attack? The Fade Bolt in the center. The follow-up stun is there from GH and the Ice Bar. He can just chain this control over on the Centaur. They're waiting it out as long as the sleep will last. Centaur forced up, but still inside the Ice Bar. Jakiro pick up, thrown back down again. Another two-man done, combining with the Storm Hammer. Liquid, they're able to just continue to chain. Miracle, you need to attack GH. It's the control done. The triple kill for Miracle. The finger is split down from FY. Maybe they get a little bit more. They want the chase. Searching forward. Arme, FY, the Ice Bar just an inch away from him, but GH will fling himself forward. The rest of LGD, they've returned towards the fight. Now the Storm Hammer. Miracle catches two. They need to see him, however. FY, he's the primary target. The Ice Bar from GH in control of the life for the moment. Get rid of that pesky little demon. They move over now towards Chalice. Still on the run, but underneath the Sentry Ward. Chalice will go down. 3 heroes without buyback. Team Liquid, now they have an opportunity. They can go for Roshan. They need to clean up their home and then push down towards LGD.
And I think there was even a moment you didn't get to see on camera. FY was chasing Miracle up the high ground over the Roshan pit to the south. Miracle had 200 health. Lion goes for the blind stun up the high ground, misses, and Miracle turns and kills him from full HP with a crit.
You have an Ags upgrade over on Sven. Hand of God, that fight took so long. The Hand of God's off cooldown in 10 seconds time. Everybody get a buff. Oprah, eat your heart out.
And it's that shrine advantage. Liquid have the high ground and they have the ability to reconnect easier.
He grabbed the creep wave through the bottom lane. He's actually beating into the Liquid base. Liquid want to push. They don't want to have to be coming back right now, but he's going to start beating at the tier 4 towers with the double damage rune. He is quite a problem. Still has the BKB with the raid. Arme is trying to do the solo. He'll take the first tier 4 tower. He'll look for the second. TPs are coming back. He'll raid. He'll try and TP out. He's on a wave. Now with the BKB. He can't actually, he has to wait. If Nancy is done, now they need the damage to go above. He fell into a creep. That can't be denied. But Liquid, they're going for the throne. They're going for the tier 4 towers. LGD, they don't have the numbers. Lifestealer still trying to do this solo. But Weeha finishes the job. Buyback, instantly available for the Lifestealer. The Ice Path is good control from X Nova. They need to actually bring this down. The Fortress, the Ancient, is finally going to die. GG is called. Liquid have done it. 59 minutes. They push back against LGD. And was a deciding game for the TI9 Grand Final slot against OG.
That was an amazing game. There's so many things to talk about in this game. I think all the way from itemization, individual plays, big decision making, I think in the end is what is going to cost LGD this game. The mistake on the enemy high ground bottom, Chalice going in too deep, the fight that they take here toward the end by not having eliminated that shrine, fighting around that area where Liquid are inherently at an advantage.
I love watching Team Liquid. They started this series in their booth, actually trying to get this crowd to chant out, "Let's go LGD." As they walk off the stage, they're like, "LGD, LGD." But Team Liquid, they are most definitely doing it, giving us one hell of a display of Dota back against LGD as they tie up the series 1-1.
After the end, and I was like, "Whoa, what are they doing here?" I mean, it probably wasn't going to work, but it was worth a go. There's nothing else they could do but
yeah. Oh, what Amos doing at the end, you know, hats off to him. He's trying to buy some time.
It's ballsy, but there was nothing else they could have done at that point.
The stuff they could have done was the first 30, 40 minutes of the game. But PSG,
that could have been very different.
Yeah, they're going to be kicking themselves a bit about how that one turned out.
Absolutely, yeah. Because it looked great for a while, didn't it, Cap? You're thinking, oh, they're looking great, Imperious. They picked the right heroes. It's the right game for them. They're ahead by miles. It's going to be a 2-0.
They got what they thought was the game-winning last pick in this Huskar, the counter to the Templar Assassin for the first half of the game. That's how that matchup, it's even worse than it used to be, especially with Huskar now being given this free disarm as well. It's just such a hard matchup, but Liquid just managed to persevere through that first 30 minutes and slowly but surely started changing the game until LGD, I think, eventually just cracked under the pressure. That bottom lane push was something else. Everybody watching that knows that that is not going to be the right play, especially with Roshan coming up, with the buybacks being used. LGD just tried to end it.
They ran in like one by one, dying. They get the racks eventually, but it's like life steal a bolt back.
A lot.
It was all over the place. That was a very poorly executed push.
That said, Grant, we haven't seen that many mistakes from either of these two teams in their last few games, but couple creeping in there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can feel the pressure getting. It felt like they had the game won, right? You already had one of the Raxes down middle. You're taking those last two bottom, and then you just overextend a little too much. And then we saw some of the Roche fights, like mind control, that one vacuum onto the hill, just slowing down the Roche fight. Liquid was just doing one by one little things, and they started adding up. And once you get to 25, the level 25 talents in that game, Meld, Bashit, and AoE Surge are completely game-changing.
I love the fact that you brought that up, because Brian is waiting to explain exactly what happened in that turnaround. Brian?
A lot of people say that the graph of a Dota game says it all. And we're going to pull up the graph of that last game, and we're going to see here that LGD was looking clean the entire way. And we're going to pull up the clip of exactly when it turns in Liquid's favor. You guys talked about the high ground fights, but these aren't a sprint. These fights are a marathon. They have all their buybacks prepared for Liquid. And I can't even talk for the entire duration of this fight because it lasts such a long time. But they're going to get a lane of racks off of this on LGD. But Liquid, backs against the wall, game 2, elimination, down by 13,000 gold, 37 minutes in the game. And LGD looks like they're going to get scot-free here. They take the lane of racks. You're going to see here that they retreat. And what's going to end up happening here is Chalice is going to look to reinitiate on Centaur. And I don't know about reinitiating into 2 buybacks already from Team Liquid. And this is the beginning of the end, I would say, for LGD, as they get what looks a good counter initiation onto the Rubik, but he has buyback as well. And this is just showing how hard it is to end these games and why heroes like Huskar have kind of fallen out of favor in this meta, just because one little fight like this, no matter how good the game has been going, suddenly what ends up happening after this fight is Liquid chases them down, LG on the retreat, and even though Liquid lost a lane of racks, they're going to get a Roche off of it, and the entire pace of the game goes in their favor. And that one fight is enough to show that, like, even though that was the turning point, the rest of the game is just smooth sailing for Liquid.
There was an upward curve after that. Thank you very much, Brian. Yeah, we'll discuss the Huskar pick because it's an interesting pick for PSG. Probably not something Liquid thought would happen at the start of the draft. They said they did at the end of the draft, which is fine. Nahaz was actually looking at the stats between TA and Huskar, and surprisingly, perhaps, Huskar doesn't have a particularly good time, statistically speaking.
Yeah, I think that a lot of those were going to be the old Huskar, where he didn't have the disarm, and the old TA, where TA actually had a better lane. You could deny creeps using the refraction damage, so the matchup theoretically should be more one-sided. Doesn't really necessarily look that way. At least, I mean, it's very early game. Huskar, I mean, can't mention the first 30 minutes.
I mean, I think he played it really well as well. There was several in that clip that Brian was showing where he's poking in and out all the time. He's taking the lane of racks. He's doing really well. He survived so many times. I think I said to Gods, like, what's that? Like the 6th time he's gone in and got out with like 100 health? He keeps like a Houdini back in and out. Eventually, he got caught out, though.
Yeah, that was, there was a lot of incredible plays on both sides. Both Sanus and Ame doing really good jobs with their heroes. Ame had some incredible armlet toggles throughout that game. But Weeha, I think, you know, just a shout out to him at being able to endure such a hard early game. And, you know, once you're able to start making those changes, first it's the BKB, the game changes for you. Then it's going to be, maybe the MKB helps you out against the Halberd that you're going to be matched up against, but the level 25 talent really secures. TA, she gets a fresh breath of life, where she used to be considered like, oh, eventually she's going to fall off in the late game. But when you give any carry their own disable in their toolkit, they're going to be incredible, and that's what happens to Templar Assassin late game. And sure enough, PSG LGD, I mean, I like this. I like that this is going to Game 3, not just because of the full series, but because it establishes well the narrative, right? That a lot of people would look back on last year and say PSG LGD, they should have won upper bracket finals. They should have won the grand finals. They made mistakes. The pressure got to them. And the same thing happened in this game too. And will the same thing happen again in Game 3? Will it happen in the grand finals? Who knows? But this is an opportunity for LGD to be able to rectify the mistakes of the past.
Okay, let's check in with some statistics. First of all, the MVP for this particular game. You have been voting in your droves for the MVP for game number 2. It's not FY this time round. He won game 1. It's Miracle, upwards of 30,000 votes this time round. So that's becoming a little bit more popular, isn't it? Keep those votes coming in via the client, and obviously vote for the favourite or your favourite player of each game. Statistically speaking, obviously, this one was a bit of a backwards and forwards long game between these two as well. So you expect the stats to ramp up a little bit, and as usual they do. Some 41,000 for Weeha on the Templar Assassin, which is some big TA games actually at this event. There was I feel like it was a TA record set in the group stages. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was most last hits, I think, on a TA at TI. There's too many TAs. But anyway, it's in there somewhere. But yeah, I mean, stats don't really matter too much at the end of a big game like that. It's all about the momentum, isn't it now?
Absolutely. I mean, some players obviously had great lines. You had Mind Control dying just once. You had Miracle putting up great stats, but teams aren't looking at who died, who got kills. Yeah. They're looking at the end result. And for PSG LGD, you're thinking a win slipped away, and for Liquid, you're revitalized. You just played...
No, just stop. I want to interrupt you, sorry, but do you think they let that slip away? Do you think they'll be thinking that? Or do they think actually that was always going to be a tough late game?
It was always going to be tough to break high ground, but they're the ones who had... the game control was in their hands.
Sure.
And they made the mistakes. Chalice particularly jumping in, reinitiating. Even when they're pushing the bottom lane, he's also the one who jumped in, forced a fight that they didn't need to force.
Yeah.
So very much so, yeah. This, to me, that game was PSG LGD jumping ahead of themselves. Also, I think some bad itemization as well on Lifestealer particularly, so...
So do Liquid do it that way? Do they look at it and go, well, we got a bit lucky, guys, let's take advantage of that now? Or do they think, actually, we played really well, we played for the late game, we got it?
I think they worked hard to be able to force mistakes out of LGD, frustrate them as much as possible, and when that mistake was finally made 2 different times in going high ground, they capitalized on it really well. They punished those mistakes, and you know, I feel like a little bad for Chalice, because I feel like if they don't walk away winning this series, a lot of people are going to look to him, and he had such a fantastic game 1 and game 2.
Yeah.
Like game 2,
early
he played
game,
well,
30 minutes.
But it goes to show just like these little decisions, like just one moment in time can make everybody look at your game as just awful. And, you know, that mid lane engagement, for example, he had a Lifestealer inside of him. That's not necessarily just all Chalice who's making that call, right? But he's the one who has to be the one to blink forward, and as a result, he's going to get a lot of flack for it.
That won't matter if they win Game 3, though. All would be forgiven, I'm sure, by the LGD fans, who consequently are with Casey and Slacks right now. Well, Casey and Slacks are with LGD. Whatever. Guys, are you enjoying yourselves?
We are, but I think we are here to help re-energize the crowd, give some words of encouragement, right? Yeah! Okay, what did you think of the first couple of games?
It just... you know what's cooking? Boom!
Very nice.
Very nice. Liquid.
Oh, Liquid.
What?
Very nice. Oh, okay.
But I want LGD to win.
Okay, all right, I like it. You're just lounging over here. What are you doing? Is he hurting anybody? No.
We are all our strengths can hold him.
Yes, I like it.
All right, guys. Yeah, I got taught stuff before. We need the crowd to get energized for LGD. Can we do it one more time? What was that again?
LGD, 动动动 LGD, 动动动 LGD, 动动动
Well, it looks like the crowd is ready for LGD to take another one. We're going to see what happens, though, Casey. Tough times, scary times.
Especially talking to you, yes.
Absolutely.
Scary times.
Thank you very much, guys. You look like you're having some fun out there with the LGD people anyway. They'll be doing a lot of cheering, I'm sure, in game number 3 to get behind their team, who have fallen to 1-1 right now and just one game away from playing in the grand final at the International. No small matter, of course. I mean, whatever.
Just for these teams,
one game.
They've all done it before, no big deal, Paul.
Christ, my heart's thumping when I think about that. I don't know what they go through backstage in between these games. Just, do they mentally, do you think they actually stand there and they go, we're one game away, guys. Like, we can do this. Or is it more like, guys, don't talk about it. Forget about it. Don't think about the match. Just play the game. Which way would you guys prefer to be?
I feel they definitely say, like, don't think about it, whatever, but in the back of their mind, they're like, oh my goodness, it's a BO1. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Oh no, it's a BO1. We might get meepoed or something. Like, it's in the back of your head at that point now, because it's just one game, and who knows? It's a lot of money.
I'll tell you, I'll be honest. I'm a choker, so I would much rather have as little pressure as possible on me. I would just be like, hey, you guys are just going to go out and you're going to have a fun time playing a pub.
Yeah.
Grant, are you a choker?
Nah.
You played competitively?
Nah, I was pretty good. I was always a support player who just died and placed forward, so I knew the blame was never on me.
God?
I get very nervous. My very first LAN final I played in Australia, my legs were shaking the entire game.
You don't strike me as a nervous guy when you play. I always think of you as super calm.
That was like the captain of my team. Everyone's looking at me. I'm just like, I'm shaking. And they're just like, oh, shit, we're going to lose. they didn't tell me the time, but afterwards, we actually won. They were just like, wow, I can't believe we won.
They're looking to you for inspiration. And they look over, they're like, this quivering wreck. Oh, God, we're all going to lose.
There's a reason I'm not playing up on this TI stage, Paul, let me tell you.
It's tough however you look at it, isn't it? For both sets of players now. PSG have got that nervous kind of, oh, God, we lost the game. We perhaps should have won. Liquid, on the other hand, are kind of like, we've been given a second life, guys. Just enjoy it. Go out and play. Could be either way, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could also be Liquid like, oh, maybe we should have lost. Maybe LGD's the better team. Oh, God. The dread starts sinking in. It all just comes down to, I think a lot of it is, I think draft for the third game in a series is always so scary. Right? Because you never know where you're going to get that last pick. And that's where,
it's
like a lot of that...
Are we going to get meepoed? Are we going to get bruised?
Yeah,
something like that crazy.
So much emotion goes into that last pick and like, oh, God, do we believe in our draft? Yeah. Are we going to be able to pull this out? Do they have an advantage? Is this a 70-30 just based off of draft? There's so many things like that could happen.
Yeah, because both teams did it, right? You had a TA, which I saw one other game, and then you had a Huskar. Like, neither hero have been played like at all this tournament, and they just decided to pull it out on the loser bracket finals.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what they've got for the third and final game, doesn't it?
I'm
sure they've got something, right? Yeah, I was going to say, is it going to be something crazy like a clock?
No, they probably want to win.
Poor Clockwork. Poor Clock. I think it's time we get our teams back out here into the arena as well. For game number 3, if you're just joining us, welcome to the International 2019, the lower bracket final. We're all tied up at 1-1 between Team Liquid and PSG LGD. The entrance to the arena, back in front of the adoring Chinese fans, pinning their hopes on LGD becoming first-time TI winners. Or are we going to get an all-TI final TI final? You know what I mean by that? They've all played in the TI final. Yeah. I had to clear that one up, though. It's a mildly confusing statement. As these gents will get themselves settled, we'll get some more thoughts in just a moment from our intrepid crew here on the panel. But first of all, let's check in with LGD as they spoke to Casey pre-tournament.
那去年的 DPC 排行榜老干爹是排在了第6，你们对于去年一整年自己的发挥和这个成绩还满意吗？
就我个人而言的话，对自己一整年的发挥都不满意吧。然后整个队伍的状态，就是可能因为一些之前的影响，就肯定是整体来说都不太好嘛。
感觉每个比赛都没有发挥好吧，打得不是很好。今年一整年都就一般吧，打的。
那其实感觉这一整年很多选手都有比较大的进步，那你们是否觉得在 TI8 之后，心态上面有没有一些什么进步？
那肯定进步了呀。
这一整年其实挺难熬的，对吧？那有没有一些比较开心的瞬间？
要说的话，应该是 VG 夺冠的瞬间吧。我们是 VG 老粉，
我是 V 坤，
是 VG 夺冠，我们很开心。
替 VG 开心。 虽然去年一整年都很难熬，最难熬的时候是什么时候？
有一段时间 maybe 就逃了，然后回去结婚了，我们非常难熬。
就是在队伍人员不整齐的时候，就会觉得稍微有点难熬一点。但其实那个 Major 你们打的成绩还可以的。
是这样的，但当时就感觉还蛮有希望夺冠的。
查理斯一直在点头，你怎么看那段时间？
那最后一扩手就是我，别说了。
主动背锅是不是？那问一下，去年有哪个人的哪句话让你至今还记得？
就是开始选人了，搬完了，准备1、2手选人了，他突然问了一句 FY， 这把炸不炸？就转头这样，这把炸不炸？FY 就。
那其实老干爹虽然说拿了第6名，但是前面的5支队伍都是很强的队伍。你们是否还觉得自己依然是一支很强的队伍
？VG 最强嘛 ，VG 跟那个秘密独一档，我们就靠后。
我们在采访 VG 的时候，他们说跟老干爹打训练赛河道都过不去。
乱说了，我们
一看就是造谣。
就我们一过河道就被他们5个人冲出来乱杀，我们就是训练被他们打个什么10比0这种很正常。
就我们的训练就是被 LGD 操盘，就是都在他掌控下，他想让我们输就让我们输，想让我们赢就让我们赢。就我们出发前 LGD 都特意来说了一句：“你们要谢谢我抬了你们一手，就没把你们打得很惨。”
事实上就是我们根本没怎么赢过他们，
真的很恐怖。
现在看到他们，我们都在发抖。
那再次来到 TI， 2个人是抱着什么样的心态过来的？
肯定是抱了一点积极一点的心态嘛，就不能说想着什么复仇这种，就是你要复仇，你要向谁复仇嘛？还只能向 OG 啊。但是 OG 呢，怎么说呢
？OG 当然也很强
啊，对 ，OG 当然也很强。反正就不能抱着这种心态，肯定要抱着一点正面一点的心态，就抱着这种负面的心态打比赛不太好。
我们在来之前看过一段 FY 的采访，他说他自己的心理预期是，只要不拿第2名、第1名，其他任何几名都可以。你们怎么去看待？你的心理预期是什么？
没有什么预期吧，因为你有些队伍训练不到，然后你对那几个队伍评估也不太确定。认真来说的话，你也预期不了，但肯定就是越往上越好嘛，就排名越靠前越好，肯定是想着去往冠军那边靠嘛。
那这次 TI 在中国不同于以往。除了好好打比赛，你们有没有一定要做的事情？
没有吧，打 TI 肯定就专心一点吧。
好，那我们也希望老干爹能够打好自己的，好吗？谢谢。
谢谢。
I'm mildly confused after that. Chalice said in that interview that his expectation for this TI is that they wanted to be closer to being champions. I'm not sure how much closer you can get losing 3-2 in the grand final last year to actually be champions, so they have to win it.
Sounds like it.
He's beat. Well, FY said he wants to get anything except second place.
First or third's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to see him finish third already. I'm already on board the FY train, and I know we've got a few of those in the talent room as well. Time to head in to game number 3.
PSG LGD versus Team Liquid. Game 3.
Exciting because it's totally going to shape what that story looks like. I mean, right now, you know, LGD, they definitely had a tough year, but it still seemed like their destiny to take TI9 here in Shanghai. Are we going to see them get the rematch against OG, or will Liquid continue the longest losers bracket run in the history of TI? Kyle, I think when we watched that last game, it was pretty clear that LGD suddenly started to play with a little bit of hesitation.
Oh, for sure. You can see even just with the item choice, Lifestealer going Heart and Butterfly, no MKB, like, you'd have no Abyssal, the damage output just slowed down, and in addition, they just didn't seem confident sieging the base, and if there's anything you gotta do at this level of Dota 2, it's play to win the game. Tidehunter first pick from Liquid, you gotta look at Rubik as a follow-up from PSG LGD.
Yeah, Tidehunter, I want to talk about this hero because between these two teams, they are 7-0 with Tidehunter at the main event. So what better hero, I think, for Liquid would you want to going into the game decider?
Yeah, and you mentioned Rubik, Kyle. I know that this is a hero that is definitely always a talking point up here at TI, one of the most picked heroes of all time. Hello, Rubik. no stranger to this guy, and also you were talking about how important he really was in Game 2.
Of course, we talked about transcendent players, and after the first game, FY with an incredible performance, GH, no slouch, arguably even better, undefeated so far in this grand lower bracket final, and I am jittery right now. It feels like a grand final. Like, we're all just watching on the stage. The crowd is going absolutely nuts.
Well, I mean, you just look at how huge this game really is. When you look at this team and how much pressure is going to be on them when you're in an arena filled with what? I think it's 18,000 people here today watching LGD. This is who they want to win. If they don't make it, I think it's the first time since TI9 that there hasn't been a Chinese team in the grand final. It's a lot of pressure on these folks right now. I think it's pretty understandable how maybe we start to see TI4, Kyle. I think it's pretty clear how you can see that hesitation come into play. Kyle, stop holding up random numbers.
We've talked about the pressure, and we saw in the player cam before this game started that we was playing in the practice lobby, doing blink meld strikes with TA, and but like throughout the draft book, you know, just pick what you know you're going to play your best game on. And a hero that we've pretty much seen exclusively 9th, 10th this entire tournament, including the group stage, suddenly a first-round TA. Obviously very good against Rubik ET. Neither of those supports really threaten you that hard. You jump on ET in the back lines, which is like a really important thing to do when you have this ET counter initiation. But damn, to have the ball as the first round of TA.
But this is what they did at their best performance at a major this year, right? Going back to Disneyland Paris. They were always comfortable just taking Wii's hero early on. He's a TA, a Wind Ranger, a Meepo, Tinker. These are his comfort heroes. And if you think about the rest of the Liquid lineup, Miracle and Mind Control they are incredible at such a large array of heroes. I think that they're the ones that you would want to have that versatility that you get at the end of a draft.
Now, I also do want to talk about that stress that's coming into play. You guys obviously talk about being on a comfort hero, having that ease of execution in your back pocket as well. But let's just look at the tournament runs for these guys. Obviously, we have a lot of experience up on the main stage. Even when you look on the side of Kuro, the most games played out of any player in the history of TI. He broke 200, passed Puppy after eliminating him. I think Puppy only got to 198, so very, very close there. But you look at what their tournaments look like. LGD never really had the pressure on them. They had a fantastic run through the winner's side of the bracket. Liquid has been in the flames the entire tournament.
And this is a situation they've been in before.
Yep.
They have been up against elimination in the lower bracket multiple times, and they know that at the end of that journey back at TI7, they were the inevitable grand champions. PSG LGD, it's a different story. Like, you don't have that same belief that in the end maybe you'll persevere, you'll win that title. You don't have that same comfort that you've been there before. This is crazy. I think that the Rubik, though, you've got to be feeling good if you're FY. Like, if you're a PSG LGD fan, if you're just a Dota fan, if there was a hero you want to see him on in Game 3, it's this one.
And I just want to say that up until that last game, LGD's only 2 losses on the main stage were to Alchemist. And in your mind, maybe you think to yourself, maybe we just kind of give away this one hero. They felt kind of like you couldn't touch them. And up until that last game where they had, in our opinion, a draft advantage, they had all the momentum. This almost reminds me of Game 4 of TI8 Grand Finals, where it's in your hands. You're there, and suddenly...
Yeah, and dude, that's a perfect point, because as you said, have been there. They were this close to winning TI. They were this close to making a second consecutive Grand Final. And it really, like, we thought it was over. It looked over, and just... If there's anything that kills you in this game, it's hesitation. It's the same in life. You've got to act, and just a couple minutes of mistakes, and all of a sudden, Liquid have a chance to come from behind and in what would be one of the more incredible series turnarounds ever. They pick up the Rasta, one of the hard counters to Void. We saw Lion picked up by PSG LGD almost as a pre-counter pick, because you want to have those double lockdown Hex Disable heroes to be able to kill 100-0 the elusive core.
Now, something that Kyle brought up even earlier in the draft is the idea once we get to this portion of picks and you see that third pick get locked in.
Oh,
wow, that's big.
Jesus, into TA, BSJ.
This matchup isn't nearly as bad as it used to be since the refraction doesn't work on denies anymore, but I just love it, man. They're just like, give me my best hero. I'm going to style. I feel like SF, out of all the heroes in the mid lane, is I'm going to style on you. That's exactly what he's going to say. And I couldn't imagine going out any better way or making it to the grand finals any better way.
I was going to ask with the third picks what it looked like they wanted to do to win, what win conditions they were trying to shape up. Now we're going to have a whole lot of information, Kyle, and actually get to peer into what they're trying to put together.
So Liquid have this cool concept coming together. You've got tools to acquire vision with the TA traps. You've got massive team fight both to initiate and the combo breaker now with the Wyvern. You can be able to heal a target that gets chronoed and potentially Wyvern ulti through BKB to just deal with the PSG LGD team fight. They also have the initiator of the roster, so it's a very balanced composition. PSG LGD, I think PSG said it best, like this is a lineup built to style on you. The maybe SF, the FY Rubik, like Ame Void, like these are heroes in the top 3 for these players on every single position.
You talk about styling on them. Is this the game that you want to come out and try to style after you just looked like you were hesitating?
Hey man, it's like Kobe said, doesn't matter how many shots I miss, I still want the ball. That's what a champion's mentality is.
What TI did he play in?
He played in a couple more, I'd say, financially important tournaments than TI, but
that's not true.
That's actually false.
Are you crazy?
Hey, you know,
it's the largest tournament in the history of esports. Dota's been around for 16 years. This is still the biggest it's ever been.
I'm not going to touch that one, Kyle. But I just want to say that if you still have the confidence, like I don't think the way to the solution to losing your confidence in game 2 is to suddenly hesitate on your picks. At least if you go out there and say, I am going to play this hero to the fullest that I can, and like this is my favorite hero to play. I think game 5 of last year's TI Grand Finals said that the most about OG's lineup. None of them were counter picks. None of them were straight up just, this is the best hero for the game. This is my best hero for the game. And I do want to say that LGD, I like the way that each team is playing fights here. You pick the Void against Tide so that you can initiate through the Kraken Shell. Then you pick the Wyvern to save the Tide. And now you have a second hero that's willing to get chronoed. TA has Blink, so she's hard to be chronoed. It's a very hard Void game.
They needed that last pick to be something that could get down and dirty in the team fight. Now you have a Wraith King that can tank the chrono. One of the better counters to SF as well, because as you respawn, that damage reduction on the SF ulti would be negated. It disappears once you respawn. And now I honestly don't know what the last pick is here for PSG LGD. It's a tough spot.
Hey, I mean, you look at this final pick for Liquid, it's basically budget Alk, right? I think that's one of the, and when you know how strong Alk has been in this current meta, even the budget version, it's going to do just fine.
Yeah. You've got a couple point-and-click stunts and the huge team fight heroes, the Wyvern side. They're covered now. They can play more leisurely on the outskirts of the fights. It's much harder for the PSG LGD heroes to find them in the back lines. And you've got to think this is an Ame Void, but it is possibly Chalice's hero. He's been on point in this series so far. 30 seconds left.
I know it's in a tie, but how crazy to just do the signature Chalice Batrider, right? Like I know we haven't seen him much, but like it's really good against everything but the Tide. It lanes well. Okay, we go for the Darkseer.
All right. Really cool.
You like this, PSG?
It's more team fight. It makes chronos easier to play. You have like this team fight aura builder now. Previously, none of their cores or supports wanted to build these enabling items for the rest of their team, so I think it fits their draft well, and it's good against TA.
You've got better team fight on Liquid. PSG LGD had to find some way to ensure they would be able to find and take skirmishes. They don't necessarily want 5-on-5s, they want pickoffs. They don't want to have to use chrono to get kills. This activates the Void so we can stick to a target without having to blow the big team fight cooldown.
Well, this is going to be the lineup for each team that is going to decide whether or not they're going to be able to make it to the grand final. This is going to be the game that will seal their fate, and the implications are huge as to what the story of TI9 is. Are we going to get that back-to-back champion? Are we going to see some new faces in this crowd here in Shanghai? Kyle, I'm gonna put you on the spot here based off of the draft. What's your prediction?
Oh God, I can't. I refuse to participate. All right, I have no idea. I just want to see another incredible game of Dota 2. You talk about storylines. PSG LGD, the last Chinese team remaining. We are here in China. They've got 20,000 people behind them. The booths are alive. This is one of those moments where win or lose, you're just happy you were here. And I know that whatever team ends up out of this, you're not going to feel in the moment. But this is something, you know, kids are watching home dreaming about this. Yeah. You train your whole life to be here.
Yeah. I can't be more happy that Kyle chose not to give a prediction, because nobody at home wants to know what team is going to lose this best of 3. And I just want to say that there's so much team fight, wombo combo. I cannot wait to see this last game.
All right, the Wombo combos may be coming on in. Before we get into the game, let's hear what Casey has to say.
All right, I want to ask you about the Shadow Fiend pick. The crowd went wild. It seems like a, go big or go home kind of a pick. What can you tell us about that?
你们选了一个影魔嘛，然后当时观众也是沸腾了，然后就想看一下你选这个是出于什么考虑？
因为我们的影魔很自信可以打 TA， 然后觉得这版配合的就是比较好发挥。
Because we have a lot of confidence in our Shadow Fiend in going against TA, we feel that he is going to be able to really carry us in terms of combining with the rest of our lineup.
Thank you so much. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Confidence in the maybe SF, confidence in LGD. You would think it'd be shaken after game 2. Over 30,000 was actually it was a 60,000 swing. It was a 30,000 advantage that LGD had and lost.
Did they have 30K last game?
It was 30K last game. It was up a long way. Might have just been the experience, but it was definitely an advantage pretty damn high. But here we go for game 3. Darkseer appears once again. It seems the only teams that are playing this, it's like you were saying, like OG played it and Liquid have played it, and now LGD played it. Only the top 3 have.
And that's the kind of thing it takes. If you want to get top 3, you need to be able to get creative. You need to be able to adapt, come up with new stuff, and execute it properly. And well, Chalice has definitely had some great Darkseer performances in the past, so he's no stranger to this hero. We were considering Batrider as well, similar to BSJ. We were talking about how that could also be a Chalice option. But they do want to have the better scaling teamfight aura carrying offlaner. And it's going to be the exact same lane as Liquid played last game.
I'm loving this between Mind Control and Xnova. If it's a dodger route to get the 3rd bounty rune for Team Liquid, Xnova will TP out. Mind Control will get a little extra information for that one, and we have ourselves not an aggro train lane. FY, Rubik back again. We'll be down on the bottom lane to work with Mind Control, but Weeha, it's already opening up strongly from Somnus. Burn the Mango, don't care about the souls at the very beginning. Let's just beat the crap out of Weeha, who went side plates first, while Kuro, top lane, drops insanely low. And this ET Spirit, it loves defensive tri lanes.
He paid respect to Miracle there. He was worried about getting run down. Okay,
Here's your blast again. You have the Ether Shock, heavy amount of damage. Chalice, low on life this time around. He's not playing a hero with a huge stomp. He's got a hero with a huge amount of damage. Xnova just stands his ground and wants to keep fighting. Ether Shock's coming off cooldown in a second. Chalice hanging around, but Miracle, he's got another Rainfire Blast to work with. Xnova will be brought down. Miracle in the safe lane is able to get first blood. And I look towards his off laner. That's Mind Control. Got himself a creep wave and a half. He's loving this. He's even going to drag it as far safe as possible because Ame is trying to bring his own creep wave and a half over. But the two shall not combine.
This is a lot of experience for MC. He's going to be grabbing it now. FY is doing the best he can to harass, but he will not be successful in forcing Mind Control away from this wave.
Problem is
bring it into tower.
Mind Control can't hold it between the towers, which is probably what he wanted to do. Just change the momentum of the wave. Ame has 3 waves on bottom lane. He's got 5-3 CS right now, but there's a lot more sitting down there waiting for him.
Yep. He needs to make sure he doesn't miss too many CS in the tower, but this is a very experienced carrier player. They never miss CS.
Don't put that no. These guys are under enough pressure, Syndrome. God, Weeha. Burning Sounds once again, 15-5.
He missed one.
That's a 7-0.
Sorry.
Such it.
Still all right, though. But yeah, clearly the big winner so far is Miracle. He got the first blood on the Wraith King, so he's that bit ahead. Looking good on the CS as well.
I'll say it'd feel very good for maybe. LGD were very confident having him in the lane. In fact, he gets a regeneration rune in the bottom river to boot. That's even better for him. But we've also seen Weeha having to play up against a Huskar, gone jungle, slow recovery, wait for the right time to fight. And how do those fights actually look? The laning phase, it can be a little bit more passive for the moment after the first blood. How's the team fight meant to look if you're looking for the best one here from LGD?
I mean, the dream is obviously a vacuum into ET Stomp or vacuum into Chrono, right? You have a couple of plays that revolve around this vacuum, but there's no clear, easy initiation apart from landing a Chronosphere, and at this level of play, it's hard to get good ones out of those. So that's definitely something LGD will have to think about. Maybe you go Yules on SF.
How do they play around things like the Winter's Curse?
Yeah, it's tough. I think the Winter Wyvern pick in this game is excellent, and you have to find either a solution where you get on the Wyvern, or you have so much magic damage that whoever you chrono ends up dying even through Cold Embrace. That's something Shadowfiend is good at doing, at the very least. But it is definitely I would say level of execution required from LGD in this game. This is the hardest lineup to play that they've picked in this lower bracket final.
X-Nova dragging the creep wave. GH doesn't want anything to do with this. Be put to sleep quickly. Kuro is making his way over to Chalice. I'm seeing Shackles available because the stomp's been used by X-Nova. Miracle can come over as well. He'll create the army of the minions, and Chalice wants to surge himself away. But it's already too late. Miracle finds the kill. There's a huge army coming his way too. Kuro, no other control, but down on bottom lane. The Tidehunter will go down as well. Is there another stun? There is. Miracle chalks up another one. 3 in total.
We should, however, remember that this is a tri-lane. We've seen this multiple times now by Liquid, where they start with a tri-lane, they get a couple of kills, but their supports need to be able to find levels afterwards, and you would imagine they don't stay as 3 up here much longer. Maybe GH is going to rotate and sit mid while TA plays mid. I think that would be a really good, or plays jungle. It would be a really good solution to just get GH some good levels onto that Wyvern.
Nice dodge of the stomp from GH, found that small little area. Go instantly into the Arctic Burn. Kuro does have Shackles available. I love how they're actually dragging the camp around the side, so if Nova wants to try and fight this, it's still going to be a little bit more difficult.
Is that 2 for 2 runes?
Seems to be.
I'm only seeing 3. Did one get destroyed? I guess a rune got destroyed, right?
FY, GH, Kuro all picked up 1. Yeah, that's kind of it. Chalice just walks away on the top lane.
They're pinging out the ward.
Yeah.
They know it's got to be there.
Like, who can reach the high ground? You need GH to go up in 5 seconds time, and then they can get rid of X-Nova. Like, you could try and protect this. Up he goes. Instantly munches on the tango. I say it's efficiency, but GH is pretty much at full, so he'll take some tower damage for it. I want to keep my eyes also on bottom lane. Time locks begin. Mind control's in a little bit deep. FY, he just has to hold the telekinesis. Mind control can anchor smash and try and walk it off. You already see him buying up his items. I think he knows he's kind of dead, but you've already used telekinesis. There's no TP scroll available. They're bringing in the Elder Titan as well. I think they've realized they need more to kill off this Tidehunter. The ET Stomp will connect, and they're trying to not all get hit by the anchor smash. And finally, it looks like they'll bring down the watermelon. Finally, jump forward, quick style, mind control, one more, told them into the trees. He's gonna blend, he's green, he can hide.
Yay! That was probably not worth it. But at some point, the human element kicks in and you're like, we can't just kill this guy. But that took so long. I think Ami lost a full creep wave at the tower. They forced a rotation from the Elder Titan.
Awesomeness.
GH.
Hit that last raid. Oh, just out of range. Juking left and right. Gets away. It's a little bit of a problem for Somnus. He'll make up for it by farming up the camps. Mihal was pushing the mid lane, but FY is here to soak up some XP, and my god, does he need it. Level 2, 7 minutes in. Same for X-Nova. You talk about the problems coming in for the Team Liquid supports having to be in these tri lanes. It seems like also LGD's cause having a hard time getting some levels while we are running down FY underneath the tower. Refraction charges aren't up, but he won't need them. FY 4 hits and he gets the kill. X-Nova thought he could just get the spirit out, but there was no time for a stomp. No time for anything. Somnus rotation, Chrono on bottom. It's time for 1 raise, 2 raids, and then 3 raids. That's how we count. We this is how we kill. Underneath the tower. FY again. You thought you were back. Ooh. But you're hell and back.
That is really bad news. TPing back into dying instantly. Once again, Elder Titan not in a position to help. Weehaw just goes for it. It's kind of almost reckless play, really paying off for him.
And that's a really dangerous hero to start feeding kills to.
Absolutely. He's going to even start damaging the tower right now.
Like, Weehaw had to work to get his Desolator in the last game. He's now 8 minutes in, got the double Wraith Bands plus the Power Treads, and now he's looking towards picking up the double Mithril Hammers to finish the job. Miracle in the meantime, going to take that tier 1 tower up on top, while FY, well, Kuro, how's it look up there? Anyone else actually have a stun? No. Hey, wow, we found the Arteezy counter. On mid. I don't know how aggressive you can be when Somnus is back in the lane. Somnus building for early drums too. Big combat style build. They already found their 1 kill with the Chronosphere on bottom lane. But is this going to be possible again? Mind Control is getting very close to his level 6. Wraith King currently holding the point in case he needs the reincarnation. So once you blow everything you got from LGD, I'm wondering how you get the sustain. Is it a combat style physical damage build here from the SF? Just become that huge hitter like the Faceless Void?
I'm curious too. SF is a weird hero. You can go different builds and they can all work in the right scenarios, but a lot of the times I feel like the physical build kind of falls flat because you get outscaled by other physical heroes, or if you get caught by stuns, you don't really get to stand and deliver, so you'd rather be a little bit on the outskirts of the fight, throwing raises and casting spells.
They're going after FY, the shackles around, just hold him, and I'll kill him. Weeha, now his 3rd kill of the game.
On Rubik.
On...
4 in a row in the same spot.
And Miracle's going to come to help out. 4 points up in the Mortal Strike. He's looking for a little bit more. Look how aggressive Kuro is getting. He's like, I have 2 Observer Wards. How do we feel about this game? I feel like I can put an Observer Ward between the Tier 2 and Tier 3 tower. That's how I feel about this game. And then he dodges the Sentry Ward that FY throws down to get rid of the TA traps. Chrono catching out to TP support. Where is it going to come? Arme starts beating into Weeha, but refraction charges are up. You've already got the kill over the Winter Wyvern. GH is down for the moment, but Arme with no Chronosphere. Maybe the Stock can buy a little bit more space. Liquid, they're moving out to the east, but Mind Control. 4-5-man Ravage. He hits the whole kit and caboodle as LGD. Arme has to time walk himself away. They're back up to the Tier 1 tower, but they all get hit by the side blade. Now you're 8-5 blast. Over was FY. He was meant to be surged away to try and save him. The stomp. Everyone goes back napping again as X-Nova runs north. He was the culprit of the mass sleep of Liquid, but they still lose the Tier 1 tower. They're getting kills, they're getting farm. Also, forgot to flag Miracle, 9.5 minutes in, finish that hand of Midas over on the Wraith King. Now #1 in the net worth.
Liquid are in an awesome position already. When you get ahead against Shadow Fiend and you take his tower this early, the map just opens up. And Shadow Fiend is one of those heroes where dying just feels so bad. Not only do you die, you lose half your souls. You're a kind of snowball-oriented hero, so these kills almost feel like you're getting 2 kills every time. And Liquid, they don't necessarily have to keep up a super fast pace because...
They can.
They can with Wraith King, but if his ulti gets popped, then they need to chill for a bit. It's not even that bad of a disaster. They're still looking great on farm. They have good skilling heroes.
It's just the timings of all these crazy items from Team Liquid. Like Miracle, yeah, I said 9.5 minutes in, he got the hand of Midas. He's now, with the killing of this tower, moved up to 2.1k towards buying that very early Radiance. The Desolator from Weeha is coming on the Courier in just a second once it goes back and picks it up from the stash. But there's still a 12-minute Desolator from the Templar Assassin. Hell, even GH is thinking all I need to do is get a Blink Dagger so I can actually get a Winter's Curse, sit at the back lines, able to change that fight up. LGD had 5 heroes practically holding hands. Even with the noise that comes from this crowd, they'll still be able to hear each other there they were that close. Bottom lane, where's your jump? They need to start with the shackles. Arme's going to come a little bit further out. FY's nearby, good time walk away. FY's hoping for a nice deal, and he can always get one from the Wraith King. But he won't get it here. So Deso is done. If you're Liquid, do you think you could force Roshan this early on once Ravage is up in 20 seconds? Is this something you want to do with the TA and Wraith King?
I like the sound of it. I think, yeah. Use the Deso, use the Skeleton.
He's already there.
Use the Serpent Wards. Why not? It's a really good move and a good timing. You're feeling way stronger than LGD.
There's no danger from the Requiem. X-Nova is a little bit further away. The level 5 ET doesn't even have split up, but the Chronosphere from Arme, he's on the wrong side of the map. Now they TP to the Tier 2 tower. How fast does Roshan die? It doesn't look like fast enough with Mind Control. He's hiding in the tree lines. Here comes the ET Stomp. Chalice moves forward, creates the wall. Roshan's already down to 1/3. And SF, Somnus, you do not want to play around a cluster position. Winter Wyvern with that curse can cause a lot of problems. The Weeha wants to go back in again. Arme, he's wrapping around the back. They've both got fantastic dance taunts. Yeah, you just spin on the spot, boys. Now, Chronosphere caught the nice target. Weeha in the back line. Ravage, however, from Mind Control, creates space, and Weeha turns onto Arme, kills him off so quickly they can 3-5 blast on the what started off will now be finished. Team Liquid, 14 minutes into this game, will claim the first Roshan in what has to be one of the biggest games here at TI9, playing for that final spot in the grand final. Liquid have been there before, they want to be there again. And there he gets into Weeha.
And it all starts with Ame thinking he can kill the TA with Ion Shell on top of himself, but it wasn't enough with the Ravage coming in. We're seeing it right here. He even gets a couple of good bashes, but that Ravage from Mind Control, turning everything around, giving Weeha the time to get off a Mel. And they have just enough damage too to make sure Void dies. And this Shadow Fiend movement, I feel like at this point you just gotta cut your losses. This fight is over. Yep. You lost your carry, you lost your big team fight ulti. You're running into 4 heroes that still have a lot of stuff to bring. The Wraith King is just way stronger than you right now. And
you
that
even
fight
question
played itself.
You question like where the fight is. Like Faceless Void is so far north.
Yep.
He's battling not just at the northern rune. He's battling on the high ground north of that rune.
If any
the
one
SF
of his
couldn't get close.
If any one of his teammates could connect, that's a kill on TA. But it was only the Darkseer Ion Shell that he had to work with. Nothing else was helping out, and that's just not enough.
Ame jumps away, the fortification just being burnt to keep the tier 1 tower alive on top. Miracle's getting a trade-off on bottom lane. The army of the dead are fighting for Aragon. The tier 2 tower is going down quickly. Mass Serpent Wards are off court in 18 seconds time. And this actually, like, if you had like a heat map of Weeha, I don't think he's even had to leave this mid lane. It's just forever keeping the pressure on, always making LGD play on their side of the river. There will be a nice item coming in soon for LGD. The BKB is approaching for the SF. Oh my god, that win probability. 11 or 13%, a small adjustment. But it's still a great position for Liquid.
It feels like it was about the same that we had last game for LGD that time around. So you never know, but absolutely, LGD are in a really, really good position here. They're going to try to go for Mind Control.
Maybe they can get this with the 3 heroes. Wind up, let it go! The curse! GH was there! He'll stop the ball, the beat the SF. Mind Control! And the Ravage! And everyone has arrived! Team Liquid!
They're getting desperate, Toby. That's a desperate play. They're going on a tide next to his tier 2 tower. They're hoping to start it with a stomp into Requiem next to a tier 2 tower.
And Chalice won't even get away from this one. He came for the rune. Weeha grabbed it, was the invis. He didn't need it. You definitely saw that one. The panel was saying maybe LGD learned from the last international TI8 Grand Final. They were so close. The resolution, the steal had to be there. FY, pick him up. You've got to through. There's a Sentry Wall up the town, so FY can't hide and meld. But LGD, they have to steal themselves. GH, they come on! Come on!
This tier 2 tower is done. LGD, what's your play? You've got to try to do something with the chrono. I think just chilling and farming is not on the... It's not on the table. You can't do it. You're losing all your map control. Liquid is going to take easy control of minimum 2 lanes. They're taking all towers. They're going to start invading your jungle if you don't make any move yourself. And you know you can fight without Ravage right now. This could be a possible opportunity. SF has a decent amount of souls. Liquid just going to go Hydron right now.
Yep, massive down from Kuro. The push on bottom lane. But now you may have to. Somnus, how much damage can you get out? Miracle already starts over on the Faceless Void. The Stomp is good. Is there going to be any kind of split to follow this up? For the moment, Weeha trapped on the sidelines. They take out the tier 3 tower. Baby getting away. A time dilation. Weeha, the cold embrace from GH. He'll hug his core close, but it's still not enough to stop the Aegis Immortal from going. But the ET Splitter very much off target. Miracle's ready to go again. He's looking to jump into the back lines, but Templar Assassin never got the shield up. The curse is out. Faceless Void with the anchor smash. Actually, it's maybe enough with the guns. Reduce the armor. So Ame falls down to the rest of his team. So it'll still be a 1-for-1 trade-off with the tier 3 tower going the way of Liquid. They can look to shrines now.
That looks scary for Liquid for a second. With TA dying twice like this, if Ame doesn't walk back into his team and get cursed like this, they could have maybe snowballed that fight and things could have gotten really, really scary. But quick curse from DH identifies the play, and the gush was actually necessary. That is not a kill without the gush. Even though it's a level 1, the -4 armor was the difference maker there to get that kill. And they're going to take the shrine. They're not going to make the LGD mistake from the last game of letting this be here. Nope. Straight down it goes. They also have really good heroes for it. Wraith King is one of the best heroes in the game at taking shrines like this, because a lot of extra damage, low commitment.
This is nice from Somnus, finally having that BKB. But it feels like Weeha's damage is getting more and more out of control. He's working his way in to his own BKB. But the Blink Dagger has arrived on Mind Control. Blink, Ravage is up. Somnus is farming the lane. They'll be very happy. They'll have to get the instant stun because they know the BKB's there. So jump up. They'll bait out the BKB. How much damage have you got with the Splinter Blast? Somnus. Ooh, boy. That's still your 10-second BKB being committed. And what did Liquid use?
3 seconds later, they would have had a curse.
Ame goes towards mid. FY would get the Hellfire Blast. Wraith King, he's still got the second life. Turns around, tries to do a little bit of return damage into Ame, who will just time walk it off. They slow down as Liquid look for the right opportunity to jump. With Blink Daggers and all these cores, there's always an opportunity. Chrono's on cooldown for another 18 seconds. That's why Liquid are looking for this opportunity.
Look how good vision they have right now. They have this half circle basically drawn outside of the LGD base, so no matter which exit they take, they will be in vision unless they smoke. This is how you corner the map. When you've taken all the tier 2 towers, you want to try to ward similar to this pattern, so the enemy team is just feeling completely locked down. And you will get out farmed. And there's no obvious light at the end here for LGD to just wait for that will turn everything around. It's like, oh, when we get this item on Void or this item on Shadow Fiend, we can turn everything around. Liquid is going to outscale you just because they get more farm. Like, their matchups are not bad enough that you can feel happy with being in this state.
The crazy thing is too, like, yeah, items are up, but for a BKB, but you're right, the Blink curse is now there for GH. How to even reach into the back lines to find him? Like, there's so many Blink Daggers, and you're even saving an Arcane Rune. You asked for it in Game 2, Sin. You get it here in Game 3. The bottle on a core, the Arcane Rune. Mind Control even bought it after he saw the Arcane Rune.
Yep. Wants to save it for the fight.
Charles is a little bit out. The only person who doesn't have that Blink Dagger to catch up is Kuro. And with 4 Blink Daggers on Liquid, they can just reposition that team so quickly. And all LGD can do is hide inside the base, but the longer they do this, the bigger the advantage gets for Team Liquid. Of course, Templar Assassin's already burned the Aegis Immortal. Roshan may respawn in 45 seconds time. But even then, LGD will need probably the most glorious Chronosphere of all time.
There's the smoke.
But who do they get? Mind Control's nearby. He's going to reveal himself for a moment. They have to commit everything if they want him.
Oh,
he just blinks away.
They wanted to throw the Spirit out to break the Blink Dagger and then go in with Void, but he jumps out just in time. Sixth Sense.
And Weeha instantly hits into the melee, racks up on top. Not exactly the most sustained damage you'll ever get, because it may regen through it. So Roshan will find the timer in 5. How about Mind Control? Yeah, I dodged the gank. I'll just stay down here now. Yeah. They're not going to smoke out at me. Roshan's going to be just over a minute. So you won't have to wait that long.
It feels like Liquid is gaining 500 gold more per minute than LGD right now, if you look at it.
Darkseer, he searched himself forward. Does he have Somnus is nearby?
And this is not even counting bounty runes. They will be in 3 minutes. If LGD don't get out, they're going to lose 4 bounties as well. So there will be another move from them, guaranteed. But is it going to be before the bounty runes or around the exact time of the bounty runes? Do they want to try to get control first? See, they're feeling very, very scared here. There's not barely any movement.
They need something, Sind.
They really do need something. And this smoke bottom was something, but it failed. You've got to try again. If this is their last smoke, though, they might want to save it for a potential Roche fight or bounty rune fight.
Liquid are coming under the cover of smoke. FY is coming out for rune control. It's almost a little bit closer. FY, fantastic grab. Throws it back with the Ravage Man from Mind Control. Clipping over on 3. The Darkseer can't help. He had mech, but even then, you weren't getting away from Liquid. Rubik dead for 30 seconds. And I gotta tell you, the big man's alive.
That could be an opening for LGD, though. I think that's not too bad. No Ravage for 2 minutes. You can think about trying to go and contest the Roshan now if Liquid start opening it.
Liquid are taking Shrines instead. The TA is down on bottom lane. And while she's showing, LGD know that no Roshan's happening. Maybe this is really smart as well from Team Liquid. Like, why give them the opportunity? You own the map.
Yeah.
You own the farm.
They absolutely don't have to do it.
But unless you feel totally confident at this, which right now, they're not. Wraithing's going back up to farm a little bit longer. The Assault Cuirass is done in 400 gold. They can wait out these next item timings. It's a Bloodthorn build for Weeha as his item choice. Tide's building up Pipe for the team, trying to gain a large portion of that magical damage of LGD. As he said, like, if the Chronosphere hits, you need that magical pop to get the kill. LGD come over, but Team Liquid get the perfect scan. And while we may have changed the sides of the river, it still is the same. Liquid know where LGD is. LGD has a pretty damn good idea where Liquid is. In fact, they're grouping up for another 5-man smoke.
They want to fight for the runes.
It's going to be 4. GH wasn't included. They could slip inside of Roshan here, under the cover of the Observer Wards, but if they battle for the rune, where's the opening? There's no dire vision up on the hillside. And the ET Spirit starts to scout. Looking towards Roshan. Miracle, the smoke's going to break over on him. He's underneath the Observer and Sentry. They know it. Arme, as well as Somnus, they're waiting in the tree lines. Somnus, is there a wind-up? Arme, wait, he jumped so far away, but the target he wanted was Kuro, the Shaman. He's protected. GH got the cold embrace up. It's a totally wasted Chronosphere. Weeha, he needs to move a little bit closer to get this catch over towards X-Nova. He's been that range control. Maybe Kuro will go down. The Darkseer illusion, nope, taken care of by mind control. And X-Nova, the Maelstrike with the DD rune is way too much. The Gush and the TA trap, he can't survive that. ET is down.
What happened? LGD had perfect vision of these heroes walking in, and Ame just jumped across and sold his Shadow Fiend.
And he wanted to go. He wanted to go for the Shaman. Like, that was the primary target at the beginning.
The problem is, I don't even know. Like, these two heroes that walk up, if he chronos them, I also don't think you win that fight because your team is already separated.
Here we go.
Here. So they walk in. The two heroes he's going to see now that he can chrono are Tide and TA. If he chronos them, they're going to get saved by Cold Embrace, and he's going to get cursed. So the play kind of doesn't even exist to begin with. Void has to try to find Wyvern, but can't do it. GH has perfect positioning, and that was just doomed to fail from the beginning. Liquid now get the Roshan for free.
Took that entire fight without Ravage too, Team Liquid. It's up and ready to go. Curse is available. And with the Aegis, the Immortal, both are in the hands of Weeha. He's got the money in just a couple of cams' time to get that Orchid flying out in the courier. But I got a funny feeling he might want to give that cheese over to somebody else. Either that or he's going to be the Immortal TA. Here comes Liquid through the bottom lane. Top tier 3 tower has already been taken, but it looks like they'll look for another one on bottom. No Chronosphere for 28 seconds. And is the biggest opportunity Team Liquid will probably have. With the Immortal. Drop the Observe Ward, that won't last long. But whoever comes out, they know. Alright, can I get this? No, I can die. The Ravage will connect. 3 heroes caught. Instant death for Ame. And instant buyback as well. The Mass Serpent Wards will be triggered. All of this for a dire Observe Ward, which not only now gets Quelling Bladed down. Chalice, back, ball, able to catch up to the ET Summons well, getting good control. But the Curse, Shadow Fiend, trapped inside this wall for the moment. Weeha picking up the backlines. Now Summons, so much of that BKB was wasted by the Curse. But Weeha and Mind Control, they're all jumping in. The Chrono, it's huge. It's called out 3 with the ET Splitter. Ame needs more damage alpha, but maybe they've got it underneath the tower. The Cold Embrace, Weeha, they only get the Aegis of the Immortal. More must be gathered from LGD to defend this base. But Liquid, keep on fighting, keep on pushing. The jump forward, the back into the wall. Kuro's gonna be careful, he's dropping low. Same with Weeha, doesn't have the Aegis Immortal this time. Chalice eats a shot from Kuro, will kill him off, but the revenge is there. Weeha will fall, and Liquid, have you overcommitted right now? Miracle's trying to run out of here. The Splinter Blast, it's good damage, you'll slow him down. Reincarnation comes, Kuro's trying to get back in. The Anchor Smash with the wind-up, it's good damage, as well as the sleep. But now Miracle, has he got enough? 5 heroes, Chalice is back to the front lines. Liquid, they're on the ropes, they're running out of here. You've got finally a death, but it's Somnus, killed up by Mind Control. Miracle will finally be brought. Smash from Mind Control. He thinks about fighting a little longer. GH, despite going so long, the Kuro has not only fought back, he's managed to walk his way back into the fight with the shackles. Arme's held. He's actually able to help create the space, but it's the Darkseer doing it. Splinter Blast flies, the mech charges back up once more, but so is the Curse from GH. Without the TA and the ranking, it does feel like this push is dead from Liquid, but they still want to keep on fighting anyway.
It's a crazy hold from LGD, and they get a huge reward. 1K gold. They had to spend so many buybacks on this. It felt like actually only 2.
It was the Darkseer and the Faceless Void who had to buy back. It didn't get caught up in the team fight recap because that fight literally lasted a minute and a half.
Yeah, so but it's because it's 2 cores. It's actually not that many buybacks, but it's 2 of the richer heroes in the game. And the return kills that they get, they're nice, but you gotta have to find more than that if you're LGD. But you just have to settle, right? That was pretty much the best possible outcome in that situation for them.
Weeha sees the camp being farmed. He just wants to jump over on FY.
Just gotta be careful.
He does. Instead, they look towards the bottom lane. Elder Titan, fresh medallion. Weeha just slightly misblinks. Thought X-Nova would hang out a little longer, but thanks to their sentry, goodbye Obs and sentry of LGD.
Well, Liquid can try to push again whenever they feel like. They can wait for key item. Wraith King's close to BKB.
Oh, mind control. He's got Moonvisor. He's going to walk right on top of Arme. Get some good information. He didn't have an observed ward around here, but Arme, you just feel the fear, man, as time walks away.
He saw him on the sentry.
Oh, yes, inside the trees.
He has an Ob sentry there, so. Oh, well, he only needed a sentry, right? Because he had vision already.
Still worked.
4 bounties, though, for Liquid. LGD cannot realistically leave their base and fight for these right now. They're too far behind. Maybe needs to regain souls. He's working on that right now. He's close to a butterfly. He is full on committing for the right-click build. But he's so far behind. He's a Shadow Fiend that's 4.5k behind. That's not how this hero is played. It needs to be ahead or at least tied to feel strong in the game. And they're going to need to rely on Liquid pushing and getting this amazing counter engage again once the BKBs are out.
Liquid are coming. 4-man smoke up. Rubik's going to show himself for a moment. Rabbit is ready for mind control. Miracle's holding back just a little bit, but here comes his BKB on the courier. That should not be taken by... Oh, yep. Miracle's actually just walked off. Weeha's run in. A little bit of a split up of the cause here of Team Liquid, but Weeha with a double damage room feels confident enough going up the melee racks. Mass 7 Wars can change their focus. Battling through the backdoor regeneration. Miracle will come and join in. The melee racks will fall. And LGD, they have the combination ready. They just don't want it. Not against that DD of TA.
It's always hard when the best play is to just watch your racks die. But I don't know. I think they have to try to get this butterfly at the very least, which the Kerr is flying out for, and then maybe you can find a jump. It feels so difficult because you don't really have any low commitment fight starters, right? You can try a Rubik lift, which exposes FY to get killed because he has no defensive items. Or you can just jump in and chrono. But that's almost impossible when all you see is this one TA. You jump chrono him, instant cold embrace and a curse. You jump and try and chrono the backline, you have no idea where they are. They're either smoked or hidden behind the high ground. So the options, there's like no good option right now for LGD, but at some point you have to pull the trigger and go for it.
Arme, he's already time walked into the tree lines. Mind Control's going to find him over on the corner. Kuro's moving in too. He'll be in range for the Hex, but Arme jumps away. Mind Control, Arme, Chrono defensively. His illusions are doing some damage into Kuro, but Chrono is now down for 2 minutes.
Liquid can go high ground mid right now. They have 40 seconds on the Shaman Serpents, so it will be really good timing when they get to mid. And yeah, you don't get the kill there, but the Chrono is... It's not as good as a kill, but it's pretty close. The Void can't contribute that much in the fights. If he jumps in, Mantis diffuses someone, they're going to turn on him right away and he'll be forced out. He has to leave the fight. He can't chrono people.
Here comes Liquid. Bloodthorn is over on the Templar Assassin. Weeha, practically James Bond. A license to kill, a license to dive. And Somnus is presenting himself quite nicely. He doesn't really want him, though. He wants the back line. He's looking towards Chalice. And now, well, you do have the illusions of the Darkseer wall appeared. The Range Rack stops a lot of damage, but the bottom lane's still pushing in too. They've got a catapult wave. LGD beset upon on all sides. Somnus continues to show himself.
Is Core going to use the snakes? Yes,
he does. They're committed down. X-Nova putting Miracle to sleep. Weeha jumps in. It's very hard into the SF. Still has his BKB back, but there's no wall. There's no follow-up. And back is a long cooldown time. 30 seconds at level 4. Now they don't have their team fight control. Not to mention the end of Chronosphere anyway. 35 seconds before it's up. And once again, this feels like the best opportunity is no opportunity. LGD just had to be in the tier 4 towers. No Liquid overcommit. But Weeha, combining with the Master Open Worlds and Miracle, claim their second melee racks. He wants the range too. The blink away. They look towards Roshan. The timer is now up just over 2 minutes. And Liquid, they will be methodical about this. They are so far ahead. They have all the map control. And the onus is on LGD to do something. And maybe not. Miracle, he jumps in. Somnus explodes! You thought Liquid were gone. You thought you could breathe for a second. Now SF's down and he has buyback available. And if he doesn't commit it, they're up against Megas. Even if he does commit it, they're probably up against Megas. Ame has the Chronosphere available. Liquid, they smoke up themselves. They were in range of that Radiant Orbs, however.
They want to blink Ravage the SF and end the game if they can. If Somnus gives them even a moment of opportunity, they're going to pounce on it, and the game will be over.
All eyes on Somnus.
Super careful.
They see him. They're slipping in.
Yep, Miracle's coming in through the bottom. He will have a line to jump here.
Somnus, there's your jump. Miracle. Oh, no, you got the BKB up from Somnus. Miracle almost baiting it with its initial reincarnation. They burn through the BKB. Mind control, put to sleep for the moment. Thanks to the ET stomp. A BKB is down to 6 seconds and it's down for a minute. But it's 35-minute bounty runes. There's more money to be had. Maybe they can get a kill over on Kuro. Back in again. Chronosphere's available. The Hex over on Charles. Curse is out from GH. Space be created, but remember mind control. He wants to try and find Somnus, but Seth, he'll just get the huge Ravage. Void's already down. Dark Hero's trapped. The mech is up, but he's already down. See the flash of green light as Miracle stares into Charles' eyes and just ends him. Ame wants something back. Weeha able to actually now be chroned up. BKB trying to protect him. GH doesn't have that save. Been through the Winter's Curse, but he's gone through the Cold Embrace. Weeha can just blink away. Perfectly timed on the refraction. Miracle jumps in, kills FY. Is there a rebuttal? There's not. Ame's already gone down. 2 heroes in the long-range shackle. Kuro from the hill. X-Nova can't move anywhere. FY is trying to get the big chase done, but they're just fighting back now, LGD. They're throwing corpses at Team Liquid, trying to repel them out of their base and keep the TI9 hopes alive. As the Raxes, they will all go down. The Megas will come up from Liquid. And LGD, without Chrono, without Darkseer, SF, without a soul, they have to try and push back Team Liquid with the Master Open Worlds down. The jump comes in. We's getting huge melt damage. Somnus, he's going to fall.